Perfect. I only just now realized the music wasn't even on then. But it's okay. We're here. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in, folks, my friends, good family, good nerds. How you doing today? How is your ship wallet looking? When's the stream supposed to start? I don't know. When does this thing start? Hello? Guys, we have a Star Citizen Live to go over today. And I think it's a good one. They did this one in China, so you know it's got to have some kind of good information in it. No, we've gone over some of the information that's coming out of this, and it's got quite a few gameplay focused questions in there, vehicle gameplay design and balance. Looks like they've got Torsten, Rich Towler, and John Crew. Three pretty important people. John Crew's vehicle team. Torsten is very much a gameplay designer, I believe. And Towler is he works on the flight systems and ships. So we should be getting some pretty good answers here about a whole bunch of different things. But first of all, hi! Welcome in. What do you mean Odin Day? Is it supposed to be Odin Day? Anybody remortgage their home then? Sell a car? Firstborn? It's Odin, dude. What are you going to do? Space Marine. Hey, dude. Good to see you. Captain Kaladin, it's your first day off in 12 freaking days, bro? Are you working for CIG and they're working you on 4.8? Why are you working 12 days in a row? I'm glad you've come to spend the good time with us. I really do appreciate that. Whoops. Love to have myself some Kaladin in the chat, but I hope you get a nice, good, thorough weekend. Like, I hope your toes get to relax. Gallowalloway, welcome in. Good to see you. Waiting for the chair. It's over here somewhere. Don't worry about him. Does the M80 have an interior? It does. It does. Should get some teasers of it today. Oh, the Odin. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's going to be in the PTU. That'll be interesting to see what comes out of there. Apparently we get more info today. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep an eye out then. Nothing yet? More info like a price? What do you guys think this ship is going to cost? If it's twice the size of the Javelin, and the Javelin is... how expensive is it? It's like a $2,000 ship, right? Aegis Javelin cost. If you have to ask, it's not for you. They're not even showing me the price. $3,000! Holy crap. Bro. Jesus. Yeah, the Odin's going to be a lot. You guys are guessing 5,000-6,000? I'm crazy. I'm actually surprised they're willing to do that. I probably would have just reneged on this stretch goal, which is why I'm not running a Kickstarter. I don't know if I could have put myself in the position of releasing a picture for over $5,000. Then again, I never dabbled in NFTs. Well, best of luck to anybody who grabs one. I will have a lot of fun throwing my ships against the hull to see what kind of damage we can do. So we're going to get started on the Star Citizen Live here in a bit, but I also have a bit of a...
Thank you very much.
Responsibility today to the people, to the org. We have an inter-org trade going on. Oh, and I'm going to tell it to you right after I tell you the good news and the good word of our man Tanith over here. Commander Tanith dropping 5 subs in the Twitch chat. Heard that makes the world go around. My Toes Gang board is gone. How are you supposed to know you're on Toes Gang if I don't write it down? Madness is this? Shout out to Fola and Anon for being the Toes Gang champions yesterday, but now I have to erase, and you know how long that takes? Everything's falling apart. We lost most of our toes. Oh! Hey. Mrs. T with the hookup. Thank you.
Tis gang? TS gang?
Tis gang.
Taylor Swift?
Tis. This marker's going dead. Who would have thought? Thank you, dude, for the support. Thank you for that. Keeping the stream going. I hope you're having a lovely day. Where's my ship? Let's get flying.
Thank you very much.
I got to make it out to Mike L1, and then we're going to land there, and we're going to get ready for this trade, and then we're going to... Is that my ship way out there? And then we're going to watch the Star Citizen live. So, don't worry. Debt maxing. Wait, and mint cake. Sounds actually kind of delicious, dude. Mint cake with the 5 stars. Got the better marker for that. Oh! Shit! Ow! 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 Who did it? Vet Raptor. Come on now. Mint cake, you got the better marker. You can actually see your name. I'm sorry, Tanith. You get the... Marker was a little bit rough. All right. Can I get out of this hangar, though? Can we actually get some stuff done in-game? To be fair, it probably would have been much cheaper, just like all the other ships were back in the Kickstarter days. They really should have addressed the battlecruiser way before inflation took hold. That spaceship inflation's been rough. Why did you hear Taylor Swift? Tanith just dropping one more. Drop. Like, he's like, oh yeah, you did 5? I did 6. Is indeed a bigger number on the board now. Appreciate you, brother.
You're all set to go.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
Oh, TS gang, right? Taylor Swift.
You're all set to go.
Tuberculosis gang? Support group? Tomato is a big Swiftie if you didn't know. Huge Taylor Swift fan, dude. Yes, bro. I honestly didn't know how to reconcile with the teardrops on my guitar before she put it into words.
Shields offline.
Now my emotional depth has doubled in the last decade because of Swiftie songs. Swiftie. TeamSpeak. TeamSpeak, Taylor Swift, tuberculosis, Tyrannosaurus. For me, it's either Taylor Swift or Meghan Trainor, right? I don't even know what Meghan Trainor does. She did the... No, that was Rebecca Black. For some reason, I always think of Rebecca Black when I think of Meghan Trainor, and I'm not even sure who Meghan Trainor is. I think she just canceled canceled tour dates. Why the name came to mind. Meghan Trainor and Post Malone and a couple other folks. You know, just casual recession indicators. Taco seasoning, yes. Yes. I hope somebody has just gone and joined this stream is just trying to figure out what the hell the topic of conversation is. Doesn't make any sense.
Quantum drive is now on.
Did we see the new SC themed Corsair keyboard? What? Have not heard of that. I'm only a Swiftie because I'm swift. Okay, I fly quickly. I skim the ground in my Pisces. I'm a low flyer. Call me Tomato Rata.
Quantum drive is now off.
P-Wolf, good morning. How you doing this lovely day? Slow it down. Come on, mate. There you go. You can do it. Look up Captain Katarn video on the keyboard just went up. There's also a PC case. A joystick keyboard thing was planned but got canned. What? Or are you talking about the Cytec
Offline.
set? The HOTAS? Gonna go to the Sac Zoo. Just woke up too late. Decided to go get some breakfast and hang out here instead. Well, welcome. Dude, I haven't been to the Sac Zoo in like 25 years. I actually forgot Sacramento had a zoo. All right, so we are now here, and we should be good to go with our quartermasters when the trade comes due, which should be in a couple minutes. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to store the ship. We're going to hop out of game, and then I'm going to hop back in briefly when we need to do that trade. And then we'll get back out and keep watching the Star Citizen live. Whoa. I didn't know you could access your... Oh, yeah. If you're next to the kiosk, you can access your inventory. All right. Let's give this a looky-loo. Had to come over here back to my desk for a second. Did I just hear the only man I believe capable of crashing an unpowered, parked ship? He's not even on call himself. A low flyer. Bruh. You can't crash unless you fly low, right? If you hit the ground, there has to be some period of low flying being done. So let me have it. You're referring to the old Cytec HOTAS, but there's new Corsair thing. What? Oh, that's just gonna...
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, shoot, Rock. Hey, my dude. Rockstar just dropped 20 subs. 20 subs into... Damn, man. That's definitely Toes getting energy. I don't know where the marker is, though. Oh, here we go. The big 2-0. Thank you, Rockstar. Appreciate you, buddy. And hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week, good stream, good times. Just saying hello. That's a beautiful hello. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I am a Corsair affiliate at the moment, so you guys can get 10% off any stuff coming from Corsair in terms of like peripherals, or if you use our code to buy anything from Corsair, it does support the channel. So I would be very interested in knowing if there is actually a new like that. That would surprise me. Let's go to their website. Still advertising the 100D, 100 SD. Is that a trackpad? Oh, leverless fighting controller. That's cool. Corsair command's not working? Uh-oh. Hello, Drake Neutron. That would be crazy timing if they dropped a keyboard right after we became an affiliate. Captain Katarn video on YouTube. Oh, no, that's not the, no, this is the Galleon. Yeah, he's talking about the Galleon SD. God, spam calls. That's not a Star Citizen keyboard. That's just a keyboard with a Stream Deck in it. Got one right here. This thing. I actually put out a video about this on my second channel. You can go check it out. But yeah, this isn't necessarily a Star Citizen thing. It's more of a collaboration with Elgato they did. But yeah, the SciTech stuff was it's kind of sad, but honestly, if you think about it, it's probably better that didn't work out. It'd just be like the other all the other ships that have been released or announced at that time period, and then we're now at the point where we're like, okay, so you guys got to change that now, right? Like, imagine if they released the SciTech controller and then just like the Reclaimer, 5 years later, they were like, don't know what to do with this, guys, but you're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, I'm glad they held off on that. Oh, the command works now? Cool. You buy Corsair, but unfortunately you're not you're a Razer and Logi G snob. I have always used Logitech mice, but I've never really been tied to any company for computer components. I've never actually paid that much attention to it, to be honest. Should have told me I just bought a Galleon 100 SD. Hey, I hope you enjoy it. You just got a new keyboard, wish you knew it before. I will probably be doing some more occasional coverage of the stuff I'm actually using on the second channel. Just because now I can, because our desk doesn't look like absolute trash all the time. But yeah, there are some plugins, profiles, and icon packs you can get for this thing, and other Stream Decks. It's not bad. I'll probably do some more coverage, but that's a ways away. For now, we're talking about... Did I just close the window? No. For now, we're talking about doxing ourselves. That was great. We're talking about Star Citizen Live. You like the keyboards, PSUs, and RAM? I can't get you a discount on the RAM or the keyboards, or I can on the keyboards. Can't get you a discount on the PSUs and the RAM, but if you do use our link, we still get a kickback for that. All right. You guys ready for this? So, every year, as you know, starting a couple years ago, CIG has gone over to China to kind of open that market for themselves and get a little bit more attention. And over the last couple of years, they've been doing an exclusive show that airs over there first around this time every year. So this is the one for today. We've got Torsten Lehmann, Rich Trowler, and actually here it says Torsten Leistow. And they just forgot Rich Trowler, or they called him Rich Tyler, I guess, and John Crew. So it's going to be a good time because these guys have a lot that they can say with plenty of authority. They're pretty high up in the company. But I'll let them say it. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Star Citizen Live. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and this week's show is a special pre-tape show for our friends in Xi'an, China. As we do at this time of year, they have this big, giant, mega event with something like 2,000 people. I don't know. I've never been invited. But a big event, they submit questions, we go through questions, we pick the ones that we can address.
Yo, Rafe, thank you for the bits, too.
This year, we opened a thread up on Spectrum to the rest of the community to integrate their questions in, so we get questions from all around the world. This is our typical Fleet Week show, where we take questions all about spaceships and spaceship gameplay and spaceship design and spaceship balancing, and why haven't you made my spaceship the way that I want you to make my spaceship? Why? Why didn't you?
Why is my spaceship not the best in the game?
Don't want to.
Fair enough.
fair.
So we're gonna answer. We're gonna dive into
Yeah, the hair looks good, Jared.
These were culled from both the list from our friends in China and from Spectrum. And right off the bat, we should introduce people.
Yeah, the shirt's wild. I love it.
John, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle director here at CIG, and I look after all the vehicle teams, primarily the content ones.
Okay. Torsten, with a new title. Tell everybody who you are.
Ni hao, I'm Torsten.
Why anytime Torsten is on the screen, I feel like he is actively making an emote for us. Like anytime the camera switches to this guy and he's got his facial expression on, and it's always just like
I
love it, dude.
Title.
Love this, man.
Who you are.
Ni hao, I'm Torsten, assistant design director at this point. And I look after still the system design team, tech design team, AI design team, so a bit more responsibility at this point.
And that's the gameplay that
Everything.
sits at the center of the game.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. And Rich, certainly, welcome back. We had some confusion about how you got here before the showtime.
So,
Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
So I'm Richard. I'm the lead designer with the vehicle experience team. So we look after kind of the vehicles, vehicle balance, vehicle gameplay, and work very closely with Austin on just how the vehicles play in the game, basically.
So you got the people who make the ships, the people who make the game, the people who help the ships interact with the game, and somewhere in between all three, usually we can find an answer to one of these questions. So
like when
right
does
off the
Squadron
bat,
come out? Right? These guys can tell us?
In no particular order. This show will probably be a little bit longer than normal, and certainly not better for being pre-taped. I think we've proven that already. We want high difficulty PvE content where players can team up for extended sessions. How will this be expanded going forward? Well, this seems like a very timely question. We've got the upcoming tactical strike groups. Talk to us about TSG.
Well, TSG will be introducing the need for different ships and for multiple players playing together, working together, and basically coordinating themselves and going in with like a big group to resolve the mission. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, we have a lot of ships in the game, and they all have very different roles, and TSG finally sort of brings together the requirements for person A in ship archetype 1, person B in ship archetype 2, and they can work together to complete the mission, because TSG is not like
Did I just hear somebody's stomach?
mission done. It's a layered, staggered, sequential series of events that one ship is not. You don't need one ship to do it. You need multiple types. So I think it's
Using
super
different types of gameplay, different objectives. We've had this concept. The PO's been around since 2015. That we're building this spaceship MMO where you need to bring together fighters and repair ships and capital ships and bombers and stuff like this, and bring them together for a coordinated attack. We've had this promise for a while, but a lot of our content, and I don't think I'm telling anything anybody doesn't know. A lot of our content tends to be very FPS focused. For this reason or that, as systems are being developed, as flight models are being tuned and retuned and stuff like that. Now, this is the first major step forward. We're not going to hit everything we want to do in this first thing, but TSG represents this first major step forward at these coordinated, extended PvE spaceship experiences for the game, and there's literally no content drop that I've been more excited about, which is why it was the centerpiece for CitizenCon Direct last year, to see it finally arriving here at May and tied in with a big fighting spaceship promotion alongside.
I seriously hope that it actually meets the hype that they've put behind it, because it's a lot, and the way the game plays right now, it just doesn't really feel quite like it's ready for that. Now, I'm trying to find a video from IAE. It's this one. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna. No, it's not this one. It is this one.
Connect the loops.
All right, so that's just a little bit of.
So this is where they kind of talked about this idea in the long term.
Whether it's resources.
Exciting to me, this idea that you now have to send troops over to breach, and board the ship.
Yeah, and also you might have to defend against being boarded. Right, so they're so powerful on capital ships, they'll just be coming back.
And throughout all of that, we've sort of assumed that the target ship is just sat there.
Absolutely.
You have the opposite, like you're on the ship.
It's exciting to me, this idea that you now have to send troops over to breach.
No, where is this part?
And it hits the front of the wing.
Hold on. Let me search for it real quick. They talk a lot about how these ships are meant to have like layers that you have to strip back.
And then they have physicalized shield emitters, which is what you saw in the demo, where Cal Mason sort of kites a Vandal ship into it. So you need to take all those things out in progression to stand a chance against a capital ship.
So it's not just a brute force thing. I know a lot of folks are imagining just coming in with an A2 and dropping a Moab on top of an Idris or something like this. It sounds like there's a puzzle to be solved here. Is that how you would say it, Rich?
Ultimately, capital ship warfare should be a puzzle that you have to figure out. If you actually watch that cinematic for the Squadron demo, you'll notice that one of the lines is, "Hey Cal, I don't think your weapons are large enough to be able to take out that shield emitter," or that shield Jenny, as they say. And he says, "You may be right." And that is actually true. You shouldn't be able to turn up with small ships and small caliber weapons against a huge capital ship. And it's what we touched on in part 1 in terms of the physicalized nature of the damage. If I fire a small caliber pistol at tank, it's not going to do much. The reason why we have like an Ares or a Retaliator is to allow you to soften up the capital ship shield so that you can actually then get access to the shield emitters and the PDCs and the weapons that are actually keeping your fighters away. And the way that the shield faces work is that they're underpinned by physicalized shield emitters, which are then connected to the core shield generator, or in large capital ships might have multiple shield generators. So ultimately, your first foray should be like, okay, which shield face are we going to try and soften up and dampen to weaken it, to be able to then send in our a squad of fighters to be able to target certain shield emitters, another squad to be able to target the PDCs, or in case if you're taking a much larger ship, like a Javelin size, which will have flax. So you'll have to basically figure out, okay, this group or this squadron will take on this squadron will take on this, and this is where the hologlobe comes in terms of you're the admiral of the fleet, you're going, okay, right, I'm assigning you this target, and then if you're a fighter, you're going to then receive markers, and then obviously you're going to be connected to be able to say, okay, go now, I want you to attack now, because you need to have a coordinated alpha strike. If you just drip feed your damage over time, the capital ship will just be able to absorb it. So this is where you need to be able to go, okay, what's my tactics, what's my high-level strategy? And then once you've taken out the PDCs and you've taken down a shield phase, that's when you've got essentially 2 options. One option will be to board, so you'll be able to then use our hacking gameplay, and then obviously you'll have to fight your way through to the bridge to be able to take over it. Or the other side is then you just, if your mission is to just destroy this ship, if you've taken down those layers of defenses like John says, that's where you then send in the torpedoes. So
I'm going to cut him off here because he keeps going. But you get the idea here. They're talking in depth about the very same things he's saying they want to happen with tactical strike groups here in this new event. So they're working towards this goal of like fleet battles and large scale conflicts in the game. But you might notice there's one big thing missing from that we kind of need for that to work, and that is social tools. So I think we're getting there, and tactical strike groups is probably a good long-term addition for this kind of thing, but what they described there, I think we're still very far away from. Like, I think tactical strike groups is going to drop in and it's going to be a cool new type of content, but in terms of actually forcing people to use specific ships to do specific things, actually making people consider getting together the right group for this kind of battle, I don't think that's going to happen yet. I think we still have a lot more balance and stuff that needs to be in the game. And of course, like I said, social tools before that's easy enough to do. Or, you could just use social tools at home, Discord. Psychic Rodent, thank you for the $2 super chat on YouTube, man. Said, will the Anvil Liberator be on sale again? When will it be on sale again? Probably IAE, I would guess. Yeah, looking for group would also be really good. Funny watching this now after they finally made it, so LF couldn't do much to Capitals and then reverted it the very next patch. Yeah, I don't know why they reverted it. Be nice if they communicated a little on why they did, but I'm hoping they go back to that model because it makes a lot of sense. All right, like I said, we are going to take a moment to step away from this. We're not done with the Star Citizen Live. I just need to do a quick in-game trade with another org. We have been, as you all know, the org has been collecting Hadanite at 850 plus quality. We have tasked our miners with collecting the goods, and our quartermasters have been gathering those from all of our miners over the last several days. And so now I'm going to join them, and first I'm going to get a drink of something to satiate my thirst. And I'm going to join them, and we're going to go transfer with Order 66. So let me jump in here with them real quick. It's tomato.
It's tomato.
It's tomato.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Howdy.
Pretty good. It's good.
Ready for our second trade? Great. Well, I might die before that happens.
On the stream tomorrow.
Sorry? Say again?
You have us coming through on 2 channels on the stream. We're going again.
How about you? You go?
How are you echoing? That doesn't make sense. Well, I have no idea why you guys would be echoing. What the heck?
Let's see how it is now.
Probably that spyware or spy listening device hardware that got sent.
Yeah.
It's good?
I find all my problems go away when I just mute that crazy streamer anyway.
Yeah, streamers suck, dude.
Is it a crazy streamer that's about to die of dehydration?
Probably. And that's really weird. Okay, let me get us a connection. You guys are all at Myco 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta pop back out because I didn't have a friends list.
I sent you an invite, but you're doing the echo test, so you missed out.
Let's see. Let me think. Trying to think if I should be in your party or theirs. I'll get with you guys and then I'm gonna join their party so that we know where to go. Not the mix minus chat, nah. Left over from the podcast. The podcast is on the other computer. You guys still getting an echo? They're like, I would have to be... Just from Discord. Why would Discord... Hold on. It might be Windows sound settings. I'm going to literally die because of audio.
It's only when somebody else is speaking, not when you're speaking. Like, are your speakers feeding back into your mic?
I need to see if it's forcing Discord through on a different output.
Yeah, it was doing the same thing at the beginning of the stream, the podcast. It was that same.
Yeah, looks like Windows shut off my audio outputs. That's why. Damn it! F you, audio. Got me killed. I hate audio.
Windows.
Sorry?
Switch it for being on Windows.
I f***ing hate Windows. F Windows. And Microsoft. F them.
Just swap the Linux.
The stream delay meant that I just watched you die after complaining about dying.
I was trying to look at what you're doing. He's like, did you die? Wait, what station are you at tomorrow? Are you at L1?
Currently in use. Yeah, I'm at Mike L1.
I should be able to find you on the floor if you join on our server. Let me find you, I'll just drag you to a medical bed. So if you...
He's already dead.
He's already dead. Okay, in that case then.
Okay.
If it isn't the omelets, it's the drinks, right?
You really should have chugged some Kool-Aid.
Can somebody talk again?
No.
Okay, should be fixed now. Is the echo gone, guys?
So next time you get an echo problem, you just have to die in game.
No, it's the same exact thing every time. Windows just goes into my audio settings and disables the output. Why do you do this, Microsoft? We all just want you to make a computer that works. Screw your AI. Screw your Copilot. Put all your AI into audio tools that work, please. For the love of God. Okay. Now we can move on to the next step. I'm going to get an invite from them. So I'll... Whose hangar are we meeting in?
Are you taking your ship, or are you...
Oh, yeah.
Merging into one?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'll grab my ship. So I'll just come outside and I'll follow your ship. Let me go ahead and grab an invite.
So you want me to go find a clean spot somewhere, and once you join their party, you...
Oh, I'm going to fly to them. We'll fly to them.
Okay.
I think they're out there in space, yeah. I think I actually saw Skylark in the chat.
Yeah, he's your Twitch.
Mr. Skylark. Happy doing business with you today, dude. You rock. You know that? Did I increase saturation? A little bit. Is it too much now? I would love to go Linux, but like with the amount of different programs that I'm running on here, I want to make sure that they actually work before I completely change my entire workstation. Then again, here's Windows not working, so.
Give it a try, you might be surprised.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
If you want to test something, just throw it in the
All
Omniho
systems online.
to see if it actually runs.
Engines online.
Whoa, did you see that they've put out a picture of the Odin 4 minutes ago?
No?
Don't lie to me.
Was that on
the old
socials?
socials, yeah. In the side
Yeah,
chat.
they said they were going to, and then they've just, when the PTU goes live, they said they're going to put it in there for a short period of time.
Wow. That looks like it's from a totally different game.
It
Oh
looks like
boy.
it's from a totally different timeline, huh?
Does it look like
I will check that out
Battlefield
after.
StarCraft?
Ooh.
No, it looks like
Side
a
pic?
modern day warship merged with like a spaceship. It's in the side chat of this channel.
God damn. Well, I'm gonna wait. I want to get all this out of the way first.
It's got to be a big keel-mounted railgun or something, right?
No, it just uses the front of it just as a big ramming. It just goes through everything. Yeah, it's like they took the top half of a battleship. The bridge area looks very battleshipy.
Kind of gives me Halo vibes.
Half
Stop
Halo,
it.
half Halo, half Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Halo, Halo, Halo. Get it out of the system.
What?
Can I get a party invite, please, Mihai?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing, they say. Is it $5,000 amazing, though?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a pretty nice JPEG.
It's extra high resolution.
Definitely deserves a few megabytes in my hard drive. All right, I'm jumping a little bit closer to Microtech. They're out this direction. And I'll just hop over into space there. And then you guys can jump to me, and I'll have them jump to me as well. $6K at least. Can you get any idea of the scale from the picture?
Big.
Yeah, there's a tiny little ship in the background on the far side. I can't see what that is though. It's really small.
Kind of looks a bit terrapin-y with its little wings at the back, whatever that is in the background.
Yeah, yeah. It's got two little vertical side wings.
The anticipation
Maybe
is
that-
killing me.
Maybe they're also sneak peeking another little ship in the background. I don't see any weapons on it.
The rest of us are just walking at the station.
All right. I'm in place. You guys can jump to me.
Quantum drive is now off. Shields offline.
I hate having to move my mic arm out of the way to use this keyboard, but so be it. We are going to be looking at the Star Citizen Live. Yes, I just had to take a little break to finish this trade. You're expecting to see more turrets on it? Never say never, dude. There's always chance to add more turrets later. Hope you guys were able to jump to me before I switched party.
I'm on the way. I hope it drops me off at the right spot.
Very green where you are.
It's so big the turrets are just too small to see. I like that theory. Alright, so like I was saying before, This is a job we've been working for over time. And we're coming through with 70, actually, I think, instead of 65. So we have completed our goal here and gotten a little bit more than we were supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this complete. And so I can just come in here. We can see everybody who helped contribute to this. We'll be getting 25 components in return for the 50 gems plus a little bonus on my end. I'm going to go ahead and mark this one completed. Yes! Sorry, that's a big deal. This is our first procurement project completed as an org. Very happy with it. Oh, hello. This one of you in the Scorpius?
If you want to call it that, sure. It's his baby brother, but that's me.
Oh, is that the Aurora?
Mm-hmm.
Even tougher. Sorry, they're jumping servers right now.
All right.
Jumping servers to the one that we're in?
Yeah, because I was on one before and then I joined you guys, but they had already jumped on the one I was on. Just zoomed all the way in to see the handrails. Ship looks huge. Do you guys think they're going to be able to actually like come up with a good reason for this one? Like, what the heck is a ship this big going to be used for? I guess that's why they had all of the people send in their letters, huh? They were wondering the same thing. They're like, hey, Star Citizen players, what exactly is this going to be for, huh? Party. Maverick, did you just get invited to the party I was in, or did I just get added back to yours?
I think you just got added back to ours.
Oh.
Huh?
Interesting.
I didn't invite you, but...
That's weird.
It's probably because I just jumped over in your direction and joined the same server you're on in-game.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just got lightning as well.
Yeah, same here.
You see them connected, but you're not in our party.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, there's some...
Yeah, they said it was going to be around the twice the size of the Javelin, which is already something like twice the size of the Idris. Yeah, it's probably going to be bigger than the Bengal, huh? Or is it not as big as the Bengal? About the same size. The 2 times volume of the Jav dimension ratio would have given it a length of 600, but with looking at a bit chunkier. I mean, by volume is saying something.
It was going to be twice the size by volume. Like, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
put it twice in every dimension.
Yeah. What is
Square
that?
cubed law. If it's
Oh, is that
twice the
F8C?
size- if it's twice as long, it'd be 4 times in volume.
Right, so twice as long, twice as much volume just means a bit bigger than the Javelin.
Yeah.
It's just good, yeah.
All I know is the Bengal is big enough that you can fit an Idris in one of its main thrusters.
What?
Yeah, it's a big ship.
Okay.
That was how they got us. Like back in the day when they first introduced us, they were like, "Yeah, this ship is so big, an Idris would fit in the space that the thruster takes up." Like, oh, Jesus, it's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, but the Idris was smaller back then.
True.
All right, hold on a second. I think we're getting something weird with the party system here. Let me leave this party and try, Gal, can you try sending me another party invite? Because, yeah, it did something weird where it started showing me the other party again. Maybe that'll reconnect it. Social tools, right, everyone?
Yes, party merging. Why join one party when you can join two?
All right, hopefully that fixed it. If in that case, if that's not working, I can just jump to you, Gal. And then you guys, I can join back into your guys' party and you can jump to me.
Online. Shields offline.
Oh, your boy is traveling. It may be working. We can play hide and seek on it.
Give us the system from like a year ago that we would all end up at the sun. Would be so much more convenient.
Hey, Remix, how's the ship?
Do a
How's
trade
the
and get a
ship
town.
treating you?
Well, if you go there at night.
All right. They're inbound. 9
The game
clicks out.
started playing epic music, so
Perfect. It's a very epic moment. Now I got to get some epic music. Oh, that's so dramatic. Ruben, you got new weekend plans? Rob a bank to buy an Odin? Looking that good, huh? I was thinking you could just maybe sell an organ. Seems a lot easier. You think CIG takes kidneys? There he is.
we should fit in there, right?
Yeah,
Roughly 80
yeah, we can.
rebound.
You can land in there.
Gonna be tight, actually.
Well, you're in the Aurora, right? All right, let me get on approach first.
If it's got bombs at the back and the narrow entrance at the front.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, the Odin hologram is on the PTU. Oh, it's an A2. Oh, crap. That's going to be a little bit harder to maneuver into. You know what? How about we just kind of like EVA over? So I guess you could have had the Valkyrie. Oops, sorry, I was muted. How about we just EVA over? Because the A2, the little bomb parts might get in the way. Guess that doesn't really help with the... All right, hold on. Let me see if I can fit over them. Let's see. Stand by.
Pisces might fit, but I don't think the Aurora Mark II will with the bombs there.
Yeah, I don't think it will.
This is where we heard that Tomato took out full comprehensive insurance package.
The problem is the Aurora is what has the actual goods on it. Is it too wide?
It's too everything.
Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead and just EVA off there with it then. And we could trade ships. You go ahead and take the Pisces. I'll take the Aurora.
Helmet check. Okay.
Well, I didn't die, so I think I'm okay. Hello! This is my way of saluting. I just jump in circles. Yay! He's like, okay, dude. Last comp board flying over now. Cool. Checking the goods. 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. One more is on the way. All right. And where's our Hadanite?
Got a Constellation inbound.
Roger that.
Gonna put it on the other side. Just so we... So there's still one board on the way, right?
Sorry? Yeah, there's still one more board. You just saw a size comparison with the Bengal still dwarfing the Odin. Okay. Interesting. Let me go ahead and send over the 10B that goes with it. All right.
The Connie is maneuvering to the nose of the Hercules. I assume that's where the remaining cargo is.
I don't know.
Yeah, we see it.
Maybe, yeah.
Everything else is fighters.
Is the Connie your friend or?
It's theirs. But I assume that's where the last comp port is.
Yeah. That's my assumption too.
Yeah. Dang, dude, 950, 10, 957 quality. Bro, this is a fantastic trade for, well, I mean, I don't know how much the worth is, but these are great minerals.
The asked and the garden delivered.
The garden delivers. All right, we got an EVA.
Garden provides.
Yeah. So there, are we good to take it back?
Oh, Rockstar, don't worry. Those will benefit the org. Since we already have 5 more than we agreed to, we decided to hold on to some of the
Something
extras.
shooting at us?
You're right.
Yeah, what's that? What is that?
I know something was shooting at the Aurora.
There's an interest.
There's an interest that just arrived.
Yeah.
Assuming it's theirs because we're in dead space, but it might have been
Rod slaps.
might have been PDCs.
Okay, yeah, that's theirs. Cool. All right.
We get to take our stuff on board and
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good to go.
I'm not able to tractor this box.
Is it a max lift issue? I have one.
No, it's like a small box, but it's like it doesn't register where it is.
Working for me.
Can you put it on the Pisces? Because there's just my tractor wasn't registering to the geometry.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Good to go.
Okay. And you want to take the Aurora back?
Yeah, I'll fly that back for you. All right. Cheers, y'all. See you later.
Yeah, none of the interactions working for me.
Can you not even fly the ship?
I can get into the seat, but I couldn't like press the buttons to close the door.
Oh, okay.
You're only carrying sensitive cargo. It's fine to have the door open.
See you back at home.
Should have go slow out of here so I don't scratch too much of the paint. It's nice. Apologies.
Try and go out the back if you can. I think the front is dodgy.
That's gonna be zero, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like invisible walls and stuff in the front.
Like trying to find a good camera angle to.
Yeah.
Out. All right.
You're clear. Nice.
You. Sorry for that paint scratch on the A2. You can send the bill back to Tomato.
Yeah, I'll forward it on to our quartermasters.
Look at how they cut.
Shields are on. Shields are off.
Well, let's hope that their ship doesn't spawn in the hangar this time.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah. That was rough. That was freaking rough.
That was terrible.
Hey, Solid Galadrim, thank you again for another good trade, dude. Always a pleasure doing business with you. We're going to set up something a little more regular so that we can easily do transactions between the orgs. And if anybody else does want to start trading with GII as well, if you guys want to get involved with this, you want to set something up with us, we're happy to find the valuables that you need, the minerals that you want, for obviously something that you can offer in return for barter. But we're open for business. Florian said the Odin is so ugly.
I don't think there'll be many people agreeing with that.
It's about what's inside. Avocado. Damn it, I almost just called you Ferrister.
Do it. Do it.
goodness.
I thought it's red.
We know it to be true.
So racist, dude.
Personally.
Yeah, it's tomato.
Hmm?
Is he ripe?
You're showing red for us on radar, but I think it's maybe just because there was a little collision or something.
No,
No, he stole
I'm a
the-
criminal.
He stole the ship. He stole the ship.
True.
He's not in the party.
Might get bricked.
It's okay, because I stole his.
Oh, yeah, I can't get out of this ship now. Oh well, this was close
Wait,
enough.
I can get you back into the party.
This is good enough.
Out of your ship too.
I landed at the station, so I'm... Oh,
Yeah, but
I guess,
the
yeah,
stuff
you
is on
can't
your
get out.
ICs.
Yeah, so you need to be in the party so we can use the Pisces.
Yeah. And now the door works. All right then. You guys need me for anything else?
Now let me check
you
if I
just
can
need to-
interact with the box.
Okay.
I might need you to put it on the elevator, but not sure yet.
Okay. I'll head over to your hangar.
It's a small hangar. Yeah, I'm not interacting with it.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Seems fine for me.
The avocado came in the rescue.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta walk a little further.
Yeah, you have to get off the...
Oh, my bad. It does say in big letters, keep clear, I guess.
Yeah, but it says that in American, right? Not English.
Yeah. That sign doesn't mean anything because I can't read.
Yellow,
All right,
yellow
y'all.
flashing warning lights don't mean the same on the other side of the world.
Thank you guys for facilitating the trade. Good business. We shall continue on the Idris. I'm going to head back to the Star Citizen Live and check out the Odin. I'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
We will be watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right. Let's see this Odin. Let's see this Odinho. They have released the picture of... Oh, it's the first thing that popped up on my feed. The Odin from Anvil. Wow. Huh. This is such an interesting angle. The tower is a really... That's quite the choice. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the ships in Falling Frontier. Like these? Doesn't it kind of have this vibe? Give me a good print. Come on, let me blow this up. Something like this? It looks interesting. It looks really cool. Like I can't tell a lot of what's going on with it, but it does look like a really cool ship. Super angular. Let's see if I can get a snippet of this guy. Bring it into our... Doesn't even have turrets on it yet. Yeah, it is definitely like not as detailed as other ships that we normally see. Yeah, there's like no turrets. Oh, this is the back. This is the front. I thought it was facing this way. You got thrusters back here. Did they say this thing is going to have... No. Can you guys hear that? Okay. I think my headphones just weirded out. 1 second. That was weird. Okay. Sorry, just more audio problems, of course. Yeah, that's the Terrapin right there. That's definitely the Terrapin. So it gives you an idea of the scale. How long is the Terrapin? It's got to be like 15 meters long, 13 meters long or something. $19 meters long. So let's say 20. What if I just did this? We just cut out a Terrapin. And we pasted it in here. And it's so small I can't even stack them next to each other. How many Terrapins across is this thing? Somebody else will do the math for that because I definitely won't. It's a lot of Terrapins across. Look at all these Terrapins. You could just replace it all with this and have the best exploration ship in the world. Who knows how big it's going to be, but it does look fairly large. Not as big as a Bengal. I'll give you that. You could use that classic line. It's nice. Not as nice as a Bengal, but nice. It's only $6,000 too. Well, it looks like they're going to be revealing it for us on the 24th. So at the end of Invictus Week. So they're not actually opening it up. Yeah, they get to open up Invictus with the Ironclad and then close it with the Odin. Is the 24th even Anvil Aerospace Day? It must be. 24th to the 26th. Man, I hate this internet. Yeah, 24th. So that matches. Makes sense. I don't know, man. Well, I'm going to have to wait to see a lot more about this before I make any judgments about what the heck it is. But it's huge. What is this? Aurora Mark II? It reminds me a lot of Homeworld. It reminds me of Falling Frontier. It definitely has a very naval look to it, which I think is mainly they were just trying to get that feel. Either way, there's the Anvil Odin. First looks. Hello, Just Game. Good to see you, dude. Oh, it was a hawk back there. Okay. On Monday in the PTU, it'll be in the Hollow Globe thingy. Modern Yamato space battleship. Let's see. I've seen that reference like 6 times in chat now. Oh man, this screams like Final Fantasy vibes to me. This is a literal boat in the... That's so funny to me. Good for them though. This weekend? In the PTU this weekend? Cool. Cool. Okay, let's get back to this show. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll talk more about what the heck's coming up in Star Citizen. We just took a massive break from this, but now it's his time to finish it. I'll be right back. Deadly Pajamas, thank you for the sub, by the way, 7 months. Odin Thang looking yummy. Oh, this little thing? All right, boys and girls. Look, I got my watch. Now I know what time it is, and I make sure not to spend so much time getting into the game and killing all of our fun. It's kind of funny. People are like, don't you just play video games and stream it? And I'm like, no. We actually, generally, there are less people around if we're playing video games. We're very much a talking and thinking kind of crew. And I love that about you guys. I'm going to put the chill playlist back on, and we're going to get back into this. Tell us more information.
Spaceship promotion alongside. I wish we could take credit for it. That was entirely happenstance. It's really
Wait, what was happenstance?
Spaceship promotion alongside, which is why it was the centerpiece for CitizenCon Direct last year. To see it finally arriving here at May and tied in with a big fighting spaceship promotion alongside. I wish we could take credit for it. That was entirely happenstance. It's really nice. So it's a really exciting time for Star Citizen, and by the time this airs, people will have been playing it in PTU and stuff, and hope they're seeing the amazing work the team have been doing. With that, let's get to the majority of questions for a show like this, which is, why haven't you made my ship the way that you want me to make it? Comparing the RSI Perseus's in-game appearance against, I really didn't time that, against its original concept art, the original concept had a much cleaner look, while the flyable version features many irregular and unconventional design elements. How did the team envision this design evolution as you move towards production?
Okay, so part of that is just how things work during development. A lot of the older ships, so Polaris and Perseus, for example, the actual concepts of them are in 3D, but they're very low detail 3D, and then they have all the details painted over it in 2D in Photoshop or whatever. So when you actually come to put into production, you don't have any of that detail. You put the corridor pieces in, and they are just flat sections. And as any artist will tell you, that's not good looking. So you add these details, and the Perseus built on the lessons we learned from the Polaris, which we talked about many times before.
More Greebles.
With a sort of brutalist style approach to it, which we liked. Lots of people didn't like. So we wanted to sort of course correct a bit with the RSI style. So the Perseus are a lot more detailed in those corridors.
Write that down for the times when all the little tiny times when we actually do affect the direction of the game. Might be something small, like the design of a ship. I'm sorry, John, that's not a great frame. But if you... But if you ask someone, oh, you don't like the way that ship looks in this game, why didn't you ever ask them to change it? Because the game already released. Kind of cool you can do that.
Of course, correct a bit with the RSI style. So the Perseus are a lot more detailed in those corridors, and you'll see more of that evolving in with the Galaxy, although toned down a little because it's not military, it's civilian. So things that were amped up have been toned back down again for the Galaxy, but it's all built from that same kit style. And you sort of need that level of detail to make it look good. You can't just have flat walls that are the RSI trapezoidal shape. It doesn't work. So it's sort of as you're in there, you need to build and add layers whilst being mindful that it's not, here's this wall section that I've made as an artist, and I want it to be the best wall section I've ever made in my life, and it's going to look really great on my portfolio. And then it's repeated 30 times down the corridor. It just overloads everyone's brains and eyes. So it's sort of, you have that, and then you break it up with lower detail bits just to give eye relief.
Yeah. At scale, you need more irregularity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the repetition becomes far more in your face.
When you have some of those corridors, it's less so the Perseus, but still you have corridor sections that are 5-6 segments repeated. You need something irregular to break that up. Otherwise, it just looks copy paste all the way down.
There's also something to be said about new people who have joined the project since a ship was concepted. People come to the project and they come with new talents, new skills, new experiences. Technology improves from the time when something was concepted. And the idea that you just come in and just have to Control-C, Control-V something that was designed years ago, it's uninteresting to everybody. It's like we've all learned so much. We've all gained so much experience. Of course, we're going to apply that, to these ships as we build them, and that means changes. will occur. And I think anybody, if I'm allowed to have an opinion, I have said this often, the ships today that are made today are better than the ships that were made last year.
Jared, you're not allowed to have an opinion. How dare you? Stop it.
So yes, they may change so much, but I almost universally for the better. It's one of the few things I'll say are you can kind of just draw a line across. The ships get better every year. So that's a testament to, well, not you.
Okay, he can have that opinion. That's absolutely right.
John, but the people who are on your team.
The people that do the work.
Light fighters, medium fighters, and heavy fighters currently feel like their roles overlap and their counter relationships are unclear. Will there be a rework to better differentiate them?
Short answer to that is yes. But the long answer is...
we love reworks.
You know, they are relatively close. So, you know, so our light fighters are actually pretty heavy and pretty big, you know, themselves. So it's no surprise that that kind of range of ships, it does blur the lines. But you know, we've been putting a lot of work, you know, over the past 12 months on the new flight model, and we're really working on how we make these ships interact with each other in different ways. You know, so there's different advantages and different weaknesses.
That's a new flight model, mind you, that they are testing in. They're testing with players in closed groups that we don't know about. If you missed that news, it came out recently that they have been doing closed NDA tests of the new flight model with players of Star Citizen, and it's actually been solid enough that that information hasn't gotten out. I don't know who's been on it. I'm sure some people have. Somebody in this chat might have been on it. But so far, from what I've seen, they have been very, very good at actually testing something without getting leaks. I don't know when the rest of the players are going to be able to see it, but it sounds like it's going to be fairly different from what we have right now, which I'm sure makes everybody super excited.
In each archetype. Also, been working with Austin on the weapon balance and the armor changes, and that's going to really.
Hey, let's not throw insults.
On how these ships interact as well.
Yeah, actually, it's something that we discussed a lot lately in the vehicle leadership meeting that we all have, where we so we need to treat fighters more as its own bucket. But in that bucket, we also need to treat the fighters differently so that there is a huge, a clear identity between the fighters. And this is something that we have been working out. The new flight model that Rich and his team is working on is also moving us into that direction, that there's a better distinction between the fighters. But something that also came out from the feedback that we received with all the armor rework that we have been doing is because we have right now in the game, in 4.7, in 4.8, hopefully not anymore, this hard gap between heavy fighters and medium fighters and light fighters. So there's this, even a stop gap between medium fighters and heavy fighters. So we decided on that doesn't paint the picture of fighters, because fighters have to fight each other rather than there's one sitting outside that is immune to light fighters. So one consequence of us discussing in there was also bringing that closer together, but still maintaining perceived differences between these fighters. So there's still a meaningful choice that then also plays into all the content that we are doing now for spaceships, where you better bring a heavy fighter, but there are also opportunities for the light fighter.
Yeah, it's something we talked about before as well that I want to reiterate, is that you don't do 20 hours of light fighter. I've done light fighter now, so now I'm going to upgrade my role or career into medium fighters and then heavy fighters. They're tools for different jobs. They're not linear power upgrades. You can obviously upgrade, but it's a choice of how your gameplay is to go from light to medium. You could stay a light fighter for all your game time if you want and have a perfectly great time. You don't need to go up the chain if you don't want to. It just gives you different opportunities and different experiences.
Yeah. It helps to not get everybody obsessed with the idea of ships punching above their weight class then. I would love to see benefits of ships highlighted besides weapon count and shield strength and stuff like that. But I still don't think we're there. Life support, cargo capabilities to some extent are helping. Fuel can be something that they start to help make these things more purposeful. Armor kind of gets there a little bit too. But I think there's a lot that they could do to make these ships more beneficial than just how many guns they have on them, and we don't really feel that as much yet.
There was this big expectation when the F8C came out that it was just going to be the the I win button, everything, and it's not. It's not intended to be.
Yeah, that's like it's something that we have been trying for ages already. That we want to have like each category has its own purpose. Sometimes we are doing like we hit the we hit it, and it's actually working out the way that we intended. But sometimes we have to do slight adjustments, and we are right now in the adjustment phase, especially for the fighter. And they have a focus right now, especially in the new flight model testing. We focus very hard on the fighter, that they feel great and they feel different. And I'm actually looking forward to the future for fighters in our game, because I think we are on a good way there. We just need more testing and like.
So I have to ask this. This is my own follow-up here. Every time we bring up the new flight model, this is starting to feel after many years now like. Like the Benny Hill song starts to play. When we talk about this new flight model is always right around the corner. It's always, well, we did that, and then it got us part of it, but then we learned more. That's part of having a testing environment in the middle of your development. We don't have to do it all in one. We can put a part of it out, test it, and go, oh, okay, well, that's going to send us in a different direction. But constantly being sent in different directions, constantly having this conversation about this, and it can start to sound like noise. As it covers years. I'm not going to...
Yeah, I don't even take conversation of the flight model as really all that serious anymore.
Ask when. We're not talking about when. We know that most of this work is happening in Squadron and stuff like this. I'm going to ask you how you feel about the flight model right now. Like you're in there, you're playing it. There's a question in here later about whether CIG staff play Star Citizen. You guys are playing it. You guys are working with it. You have to in order to test it. It's in massive testing with Michael Smith's team and that's what it is. How is that going? How are you feeling about it?
So in the current game,
dude, imagine if they were just like, Jared, we're going to be frank. We don't know what's going to go on. We've hit a dead end here. We don't know if this is going to work, Jared. And then they just sat with that and let it play out. That would be so
I think we've got
crazy.
a really good flight model, but it's lacking some of the levers that we want to pull to make the ships feel different. To do the light fighter to heavy fighter, but also not just fighters, to make our large ships feel like massive ships that you're really pulling through, to kind of turn and move the ships around. So, I do think our current flight models are really good, and it's a really good testament to the team. But we've learnt so much since we've introduced it. But I would see the new flight model as not just how the ships fly, but it's the overall flight experience that's going to kind of change drastically. So, we aren't going to rush out there and just put out a piece of the new flight model and not have the rest. So, we're kind of looking at this as soon as you take off in your ship, that is the flight model starting, and then you go all like the way to the full new, kind of quantum experience, and that's going to be the new flight experience, really. So it's not just a flight model and how the ship's flight's going to change. It's the entire flight experience is going to come as one kind of package.
Yeah, and even that is just an ingredient, right? Because it's also like the bullet speeds that will change, or the weapon behavior. Let's even describe it more broadly, is what adds a lot to the experience as well there. And there were again a lot of discussions just last couple of weeks around what we can do to actually improve the feel, because CR wants this very cinematic combat that we are now getting closer and closer to, and that's the reason. I would even describe this as our red line in our iteration over all the flight experience as flight combat and flight changes that we have been doing over the years. It's like we always try to aim what CR was envisioning, and there were always some information that we get additionally, and then we could improve a bit more on what we actually wanted to achieve. And I think we are now getting close to where we would get the CR seal of approval here, And especially like we did some tests, was it last week, with some like weapon changes that will not make it the way that we tested it in the game, because we are not ready for that yet, but we will do a step in between for that. That is increasing the ranges for weapons and slowing down the bullet speed. It gives already a more cinematic approach to all the battle, or all the fights, and it helps also tremendously with having, like, even though with lower speeds, it might sound a bit contradicting, but actually with lower speeds you have a more agile combat, because we have to bring closer together. You are able to dodge bullets more than you are previously, so there will be some, or the goal for these changes is to have an agile combat in a closer range, which is exactly what CR wants for this game. And then with all the flight changes that we are working on, we are moving.
This is not new. If we go to the roadmap. For those who were talking about the Galleon earlier, I have gotten all of the buttons for the things that, like, I could just pull up the lists that we use to do all of the research on this stuff, because I got the buttons programmed into the keyboard, because we just spend so much time going back to these. But what I was going to say was, this started a while ago. We've gone over this a lot. Anytime that we've done a deep dive into the flight model, we've generally talked about going back to this point where they were trying to naturally slow down combat and force people to fight at lower speeds so that they could do the same thing they're trying to do now. The only thing is, nobody really wanted to. Here it is. It was here. High-speed combat. Ship systems will suffer the strains of traveling at high speeds with maximum velocity, resulting in the restriction of some player options in the cockpit, creating a vulnerability that will push players into engagement at lower speeds. This didn't work. They tried it all the way back in 2020, and for 2 years, it just didn't work. So then they came out, and they said, okay, we're going to put in master modes. Is that here? I don't even remember where master modes was. But eventually they decided that naturally trying to make the speed slow down was not happening, and so they forced us all to slow down. They put in master modes, gave us SCM mode, and now the game is dead. It's completely over, or at least I was told that was going to be the results of this. Either way, now they're at a point where they're kind of doing away with master modes, sort of collapsing it down all into the operator modes we already know, like mining, quantum, that kind of thing. And continuing to emphasize that they want to slow down speed, continue to slow down speed, keep ships flying slower, bullets flying slower, all in the pursuit of cinema, which I'm into it to some extent. I like a cinematic game. It's immersive when it looks cool. It's fun to do when it looks cool, but it still needs to feel good. And I hope that no matter how much cinema they're trying to go for, they really, really, really don't sacrifice actual good feeling gameplay for it. But we'll see. Cypher Lycan, appreciate you, my dude. Subbed at 6 months at tier 3. Bro, much love to you. And Vivi Jr., thank you as well. 61 months. Supporting the stream with that Prime sub. I appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying your day. You think slower ships are easier to handle server-wise? That definitely makes a difference, yeah. Slower ships also will make us, or slower projectiles will make it easier to dodge fire, and it can feel cool to dodge incoming fire. I just don't want it to be like you're swinging your ship around, making all these weird moves because you move... yeah, I don't know. They said that they didn't want us to move uniformly in every direction, so I gotta think it can't be that extreme to dodge.
Slowly into that direction. And the reason why we have to move slowly, and it's not a negative thing, is it's something that we learned last year when we did all the changes at once for engineering gameplay in a one PTU cycle, and we learned, no, that was a bit too much. So what we are doing right now is we do these increments now to have, like, I think we talked about that in some of the other SCLs, we have a very focused view on what we change, and we can iterate or we gather data untinted from all the rest that we did. So we know exactly when we put something out, okay, all the feedback that we receive is around that topic. for the next patch it will be, so we did some armor adjustment based on the feedback on the armor release in the last patch, because we only did release the armor changes.
This is why I miss the postmortems, so we can actually hear why they do these things.
In 4.8 we will do some bullet speed changes, bullet range changes, so we will get feedback on that, and then we can iterate over that, and in the next patch there might be something new for flight behavior, combat behavior.
Yeah, they're all, I think what the it's always around the corner problem is for Star Citizen, it's all interconnected. Like, if you change flight speeds, you have to change projectile speeds, lifetimes, shields, like it all, and there's a lot of ships and there's a lot of content, and you have the PvE side, so you've got to do all the AI side, as well as coping with the player side, which a lot of this work was done in Squadron a long time ago, and compared to, this is Star Citizen Live, not Squadron Live, it's a very constrained scenario set. Like, we know exactly what the player's going to be doing or should be doing against who in what formation, and you can quickly iterate there. But when it comes to bringing that over to Squadron, bring it over to Star Citizen, you're 10, 50, 100 timesing the amount of work there to get that same experience at a larger scale. So it plays really nicely. Everything gels together really well, but we can't just like piecemeal parts out without some big drops like we did with engineering, where it was too much and then the feedback just goes everywhere and it's disjointed. So it takes a while to roll that out.
All right, so on some Origin ships, we can see landing gear with wheels. I just went into my Count Disco there. Blah.
Wheels.
Yeah, see landing gear with wheels. If the new flight model is implemented in the future and atmospheric flight becomes a fully realized option, would there be any possibility of switching to wheeled landing gear or even cooler ground effect hover landing systems?
Like the Nomad?
The wheel side is something we want to do. It's not connected to new flight model in any way. It would be different programmers doing that. But yes, we have a lot of Origin ships. I think most of them have wheels, as well as some other manufacturers. And in fact, Chris was talking to me about this very subject. Maybe he put this question in there about when can we get proper steering wheels and landing wheels on
Wait, did we
the Origin
know?
ships.
Did we know that the M80 was going to have wheels this time last week? Or when we asked these questions? This is weeks ago. Was there another sneak peek that I'm forgetting about? Or are they taking... No, but this is pre-recorded. Yeah, there was another sneak peek? Okay. I must have missed that completely.
Will there be more alien ships with different roles? Currently, most alien ships are dedicated combat types.
Yes, so this starts with the Raylan Alien Week in June. And I think we will see a couple more
Something
this
else?
year that are alien ships and not combat.
They did... GATAC is supposed to have 2 ships. But maybe they're not both coming at the same time.
Torpedoes and missiles. I just leave it there. Torpedoes and missiles.
Honestly, I am now actually pretty excited. So to see a ship like the Odin and to see how far out of the way they're willing to go with their design language on these ships makes me think maybe they'll go back to this Capital Xi'an style concept they had. This was the original style of the Xi'an, and their ships were planned to be very vertical in design. So I'm almost thinking that maybe they would go back to this. And we would see more crazy Xi'an style designs because they've not shied away from getting a little weird. Proud of them for that. Yeah, this is a weird ship though.
Go, guys. Torpedoes and missiles sometimes have difficulty hitting targets. Their purpose remains unclear. Well, I think their purpose is clear. I think whether they achieve it is unclear. And the reliability is very worrying. Will there be improvements?
So we have a big kind of missile rework, planned at the moment, where the core aspect of what's wrong with missiles right now is just it's really hard to predict where they're going to land because they're so quick. So we've got problems with networking, the missiles are very small and agile. Like they're way more agile than the ships. So the inaccuracies you see sometimes are it's just how they are predicted to hit at the moment. And that prediction isn't hitting the mark all the time. But also it's to do with count measures as well. So
that's just not good though.
I would say we've got a linear relationship right now, which is you do a count measure and the missile misses, right? But that's not the intended really goal of how the missiles work. We want more kind of clear kind of readability of where the missile's coming from. Because at the moment, if you've got a missile coming at you and you do a count measure and you get hit, it's bad. And you don't know where it's coming from. So we want a much more kind of clear kind of readability of where the missile's coming from. But it means we've got to change the flight of the kind of missiles themselves. Because the moment the missiles fly in a kind of fully decoupled way, where they can change direction very, very quickly at the last minute as well. So again, it's that kind of predictability at the end where they do go suddenly go like this to you. But we want that to be much more predictable. So we want to slow them down a little bit, so you can actually evade them. But also that slowing down makes it easy to predict where they're going to hit as well. And then we've got systems. We want we kind of want to do stealth gameplay. So you can do things on your ship yourself to make you less susceptible to missiles. But we need all these systems to come together, as one big package of how kind of missiles work. But that's why.
So things need to be slower to be calculated
we did some
better.
Steps already to improve the missile gameplay. So not on the missiles themselves. There are still there are issues that are even quite high on our immediate fix list for that. We don't have a feedback right now, visual feedback for that the target lock is completely done. So this definitely needs fixing. So we already started working on the UI improvements. There are some, there are reasons why it's not in yet. So we are still actively working on that, to getting all the changes across. But at least it will help for the initial missile gameplay that we currently have in the game. As Rich already said, the speeds of them are now with the updated bullet speeds for the normal weapons. They also unproportional again, so that means that this is definitely something we need to tackle afterwards. And for the stealth gameplay, actually, we did some changes already around that. So engineering gameplay influences the EM signatures. IR signatures are also driven by the cooler functionality. So we already have player decisions impact the signatures. Also with actually a shout out to Michael Smith there. It's basically his doing that we have the cross-section is only detectable now by active ping.
That's a good one.
It's actually something that was brought up in our vehicle leadership meeting, and we just acted on it because it works out quite well. Has the downside though that the cross-section missiles now need an active ping, and there's also some visual indicators missing. So we have a list of things we need to improve, even for the missile gameplay that we currently have in the game. But we also are very aware that the missile gameplay is the gameplay that we can improve a bit more even after these quality of life changes, because we have dedicated missile boats, we have dedicated ships with a lot of missiles on them, and we have to make it fun for missiles. It needs to be an exciting gameplay, and right now it's more and I'm very sorry to be that honest, but it's more like a side thing to do.
It really
the benefit
is.
Though, and I have to advertise it, is missiles.
I'm almost never even thinking about using my missiles, man. And even when I do, I generally don't think they're going to do very much for me. Some people are much better at combat than I am, so it probably works better for most. But I think that the missiles have been a pretty sad part of combat for a long time. Whether they were glitching out, not tracking our targets, running out of fuel, whatever it is, missiles have always just been a pain in the ass to use. Tycon, thank you for the sub, by the way. All over on Twitch. Appreciate you, my dude.
To do. The benefit, though, and I have to advertise it, is missiles ignore the armor checks because they do so much damage. So if you have a small ship and you want to crack the armor, use a missile.
It seems like one of the more difficult tasks, because if you have a ship with missiles, You want them to be amazing. You want them to be effective. You want them to be devastating because they cost a lot to reload. CR is always on about you shouldn't be able to, replacing a missile or a giant S7 torpedo should cost you, a lot, just like it does in the world. So if it costs you a lot, they have to be effective. But on the flip side, if you're on the other side of that missile or a torpedo, you need to have options to defend yourself, to survive and whatnot. And it's no matter what you do, somebody is going to be like, yes, that's great. And somebody's going to be like, that is the worst change ever. Because there's no, it's very hard to find a middle ground there, because if you get killed by a missile, missiles are terrible. I should have had more things to do. There are a couple questions in here. We've sort of hit all of them, so I'm not going to ask them. Where there's no lead pips on shooting down torpedoes and stuff. We wanted to make it easier to shoot down the torpedoes. But if you do that, then torpedoes become less effective. So this constant give and take is just.
Yeah, but even with the torpedoes, it's like right now with the lead pips, it's basically impossible because they are traveling so fast. So we have to reduce the speed again so that they feel also correct for a torpedo, because a torpedo should not target a small fighter, because they are meant to.
Everything's interconnected.
Yes.
If you mess with one thing,
there's got to always be this element of chance. Like you can't make it so that you can always shoot them down.
Yeah.
Because then they were ineffective. And you can't make it so that they always hit and destroy their target. Otherwise, so there's always got to be this gray area of chance.
Yeah, and it's a really fine balance, because it's got to make sense for both parties that what happened. If it hit or miss, it's got to make sense to both people that are on either side of it, which is a really difficult thing, because it's a really hard thing to communicate. Because in real life, if you've got a missile coming at you, you have one option: press the button and go, evade. But if you get hit by a missile in real life, that's it. You're going to go down, right? So. It's just a question of balance, and it is really fine tuning, because it requires so many systems to come together. It isn't just a flight; it's the emissions and everything else. So it's just it's a really fine balance.
When I used to play playing games when I was younger, a wee lad, a little whippersnapper, I loved playing jet fighting games. Over G Fighter was my favorite. I don't know if anybody's played that. It was mid 2010s, I think it came out, early 2010s. My favorite thing to do was to use missiles, to the point where I thought of missiles as the default in combat. When in reality, guns are the default. I mean, it's a lot different in sci-fi because we have more guns than we do now. But my case in point, I was wrong. And I think missiles are kind of like a special weapon, or at least should be considered one. As is being mentioned in the chat, they should just be really, really expensive. They should be something that you kind of have to set up to use. You can't just fire missiles and know that they're going to hit. You should have to disable countermeasures or fight off shields or take out PDCs first. But they should probably be pretty effective. If you land a missile, you should be like, yeah, got it. Instead of oh, I got a missile on them. Let me now load up another one because I still need 2 more to get through their shields. Ace Combat was pretty cool. Ace Combat was a good game. That was that one's really long running, right? In modern combat, missiles are the way of things. Ho ho. Yeah, I mean we got boring guns right now. They made this movie called Top Gun. Missiles were the default. I guess so. Yeah, maybe I'm off, and missiles are actually the default nowadays. But in a world where you have all these different kinds of weapons, I'm thinking it's probably more of a specialty. I'm pretty sure Ace Combat was around before I started playing video games. Ooh, Hawks was a good one. Hawks with an X, though. It was edgy. My man Clancy. He hates K's. Spells his name with C's. Can't spell Hawks with K's. Just racist. Ace Combat 8 is currently in production. Isn't there another one? I thought there was another jet fighting game that was actually running multiple games right now. I feel like missiles also give a really cool opportunity to do some fun crafting. Like if you craft missiles that do different things or have different speeds or maybe higher blast radiuses and stuff, I want a missile that penetrates through the hull of the ship and then explodes on the inside. Yeah, I said all the people on board that ship, buddy.
Which we get right sometimes and we get wrongs, other times.
But overall, I would really say, and it feels like I'm repeating myself, with with the decision that we do smaller changes continuously, though, we are now way better suited for where we want to go, in comparison to where we threw in a lot of changes all at once, in comparison to like how we worked a couple of years ago.
So, by the time this airs for our friends in China, we will have announced the Anvil Odin battlecruiser, our biggest ship that we've ever attempted to put into players' hands. A massive undertaking. It's twice the size by volume.
Did they say when this was recorded? So if this was recorded before the Bar Citizen in Xi'an, which was last Friday, I want to say, last week. So this must be recorded in April. Sometime, probably late April.
Of a javelin. It's just huge. I say this because this next question is right to the efficacy of a ship like that. Currently, it is difficult for pilots and gunners to coordinate effectively. Pilots have a hard time knowing what their gunners are targeting and what firing arcs are available. Gunners also struggle to relay continuous targeting for sustained attacks on a single vessel. Can this be made better?
So there are different endeavors we have around that. So there's one big that is more like globally for the game itself, which is all the social work that is planned to be improved. Because I think we talked even about that. Was it last SCL? Where it's like, for an MMO, our social aspects can require some improvements.
Yes, the social teams that Benoit's team is working on will be essential to a huge part of this.
So that will also help a lot with communication on your same ship. So the voice over IP is always a topic that, like, if it works really well, it can be really good, especially on communication in close proximity on the ship. So that should help. But there are also like issues that we are aware of, and they sadly didn't get prioritized yet. But because of all the content that we now have targeted to multi-crew purposes, multi-group purposes, like the sharing of markers and helping at least communicating where to aim at, these are definitely something that we have on the list. There's also like all the marker improvements that have been discussed at this point for 2 years. That we are still working on. Also, like as with a lot of things, right? There's always a clash of priorities. There's always someone coming into the room and saying, like, no, this is the highest priority now. So we have to shuffle things around a lot. But it doesn't mean it is forgotten. It is at this point just not today. It's maybe tomorrow. And especially the marker work, I think, will help the most. Making it easier again to share markers, share targets, having even a better visuals of this is the target that is supposed to be the target.
And gives, again, someone a role on that ship to be the person. Do this.
Absolutely essential for these capital ships, the Idris, the Javelin stuff. We've seen these images of the map table and stuff. Having there be a role that is, all right, that's our new target, being able to click it and for that to go to every turret, gunner.
I am obsessed with that idea of people having roles on ships that they're good at doing. They can do it. We know we can go to them. They get it done and it's efficient. And I'm excited for this stuff to matter more because right now it's hard to get somebody to want to do a role in the game, even if that role matters and has a use case, because a lot of the times it's missing the extra little bits of gameplay. You tell someone, oh yeah, we need somebody on shields during this battle. And they're like, okay, cool. What do I do for the rest of the time? So it's kind of hard to set
this is your target. When this guy comes in front of you, that's who you're doing. It's absolutely essential. There are, for many people, and I'm going to include myself. People always ask, like, what kind of Star Citizen are you? Like, from the moment I learned about the project, I have always wanted to be the capital ship guy. I want to be the guy. I suck at flying, and I suck at shooting and all that stuff. But give me an overview of something, and I can make good decisions that'll help. Like that's where my strong point is. So that role that we're talking about here, being there at the desk and going, okay, it's gunners 1 through 6, your target's this. Gunners 7 through 12, your ship is this, and stuff like that is my dream, which is why something like the Odin battlecruiser is very exciting to me. I just have to live long enough to.
Yeah, especially for that, we even have like very, very clear long-term goals.
Yeah.
I think we briefly mentioned it in our Road to 1.0 discussion from Rich Tyra, where
it's in the Road 1.0 stuff.
Yeah, so where we have this fleet management as an opportunity for you to do tactical decisions on your ship.
Yeah, and the social tools and stuff. It also just takes forever trying to crew these things. Right now we've got the Idris out there, and everything, but finding enough people and getting your positions and stuff.
But even on that, we have like some like improvements already in the works. That
like what?
The teleport. I don't know if we should talk about that though.
This is the show to talk about.
He said like what? Yeah.
So we
let
have,
it out, Torsten.
Right now, it's not signed off yet. So they are like, because we have to fit this work into the theme of Star Citizen, and it's like, if I phrase it now the way that I will phrase it, you understand why it is really hard to put it into the framing of what we sell as Star Citizen.
He's like, please, please, please do not take this out of context and run with it.
The teleport to party leader, where we want to allow players to, in certain situations, be able to quick travel to your party group or your party hangar, and then be able to go on a mission. So we want to reduce the time for you to gather dramatically with this feature. But it's a bit challenging.
Yeah, it's challenging at first.
Yeah, I can see why he would be worried about saying that out loud. We just talked about this on the podcast today. I had a conversation with Thrusters and Dusty. And, this could be a slippery slope. This could change the game in a big way. Man, some of these pillars that they set up, they're just knocking them down.
At first glance, it seems against the ethos of Star Citizen. So, and that's why he's saying it's not a signed-off feature. It's a. You've heard me say it. We have the same conversations here that you guys have out there, just 3 months earlier, and probably just as contentious, to be honest. But we have to explore those things, even if we never do it, even if a teleport feature never comes into Star Citizen, and it may not. Guys, we still have to discuss it.
Yeah.
We have to discuss it. We have to explore it. We have to build a prototype. We have to try it. We have to.
I think this is incredibly telling. To me, this says, this might be taking it too far, but in my opinion, this is telling me that and he's been kind of saying this. He said it last year. They will do anything. There's not really a thing that they're going to stick to with Star Citizen from the old days. You can assume anything that they don't talk about, they're still going to do the same way. I'm not saying that's not the case, but I'm saying if they've said something in the past, they might not change it, but they very well will still ask the question. Like he's saying, they will still consider it. And I think that's saying something big, because they're not saying we're going to stick by the things that we said before, and that's just how it is. We set it in stone. They're saying we set those things in stone, but now the game is a bit different, so we're gonna consider all those things for the new version of this game. That's something important to know if you joined this a long time ago.
Try anything that can make the process of getting into the game and playing the game more enjoyable, more effective has to be considered. That has to be a major priority, especially as we go towards 1.0. As you go towards 1.0, that priority becomes more and more important. Making the game accessible, making it possible for people to get in and do the things that they want to do. So there may be some things here and there that are like, well, that makes it less like a space sim. Sure, but it makes it more like a fun game that more people can play. So
my biggest thing with something like teleporting is it is more fun, but the balance of things like you have to fly this far to get to this planet. You run out of fuel if you fly that far, so you have to stop off, get some fuel, and continue on your journey. If you took things and requirements like that into account and you said, me and my friends have been tracking the trade routes of this org. We've been tracking all of the stuff they've been doing. We know for a fact that they have this one moment on Thursday nights where only one of their cargo haulers is going through this system, and they have a little bit less security. It seems to happen every week for the last 6 weeks. So we're going to lay a strike, we're going to ambush them, and we're going to take them out, get the stuff, and get out of there because we need those materials. You go, you set this all up, you do all this planning, weeks and weeks of effort, and then you do the ambush, it goes off perfectly, but then somebody spawns on the ship that you were attacking. Suddenly it's not one cargo hauler with cargo that you wanted to steal. Suddenly it's 3 cargo haulers. 2 of them have guns, and another one's on the way to spawn in on the ship as well because they already spawned out. I'm not saying that's what they're talking about here with the teleporting, but when you start to take out the limitations of having to travel places to do things and you let people just kind of like jump into a party or go to a place very quickly, other players can't factor that in anymore, in my opinion. You can't really be like, I have caught this guy at a bad moment, and so I get to benefit from it. It's kind of like the same thing I was saying where if you log off on a spaceship, are they considering a system to stop people from logging back in on that spaceship when it lands on another spaceship? I don't know. Again, none of this is set in stone. It's not like they've made these decisions, but these are the questions that come to my mind when these things come up, and I don't think they've ever fully talked about that. Other games may have figured it out though, so maybe it's not that hard, but it's the kind of thing that I was looking forward to. Are on-ship spawns a thing for the future? Yes. They want us to be able to respawn anywhere or load in anywhere. You think they should just do NPC crew thing that they had where players would be able to control them if they're friends, if they're going to do instant teleport? You could just put it on a delay, would be fine. What do you mean on a delay? Like people would load back in on the delay, so then why don't you tell people to load in, plan for the delay, and then 3 minutes later when the delay is over, all those folks load in on your ship. You could still do the same thing, right? Don't be so alarmist. He did say teleport to party hangar as part of that. I'm not being alarmed. I specifically said I'm not talking about what they're talking about. I'm just talking about the idea of how dynamics change based on spawns. I'm not saying that they're telling us that we will be spawning on ships. It is something that they've said before. I can pull that up for you. But ultimately, it's just a lot of stuff around respawning, getting into the game, saving your progress in the game, how all this stuff is going to work. And it's been a little bit up in the air. Some of you are probably so sick of hearing this clip.
Run into the issue. You might have
getting a good night's sleep in bed and something. I'm not sure what that hot take is, but we're definitely in favor of bed logging. In fact, in the future, we plan to give the player buffs for getting a good night's sleep in bed, and have that be part of the game loop. But we don't want to limit the player to that. It's like having a bed shouldn't be a requirement to log out of the game. In fact, in the future, we want no matter where you log out, that's where you log back in. You have all the same missions. Like we want.
So I don't know if that means on ships, but it was mentioned before. And so it's just the same kind of thing that pops up in my head. As you said above, would be an easy fix to just allow that teleporting to party leader option for accepting group missions, stuff like the new task force things, ASD, Project Hyperion. So, but again, if you teleport to somebody because they're launching a party, do you have to go and join that mission? Could you not teleport to someone and then quit the mission and suddenly you've fast traveled across the system and you can just do whatever you want? Is it a teleport that puts you directly into the dungeon? In which case, are you now locked into that instance? Or can you leave that instance? You can only get the teleport when you have the mission accepted. But why not cancel the mission acceptance right when you teleport? It's like right now, like you join someone's party, you can get into their ship, and then you can leave the party. And you're basically in their ship without being in the party. I don't know. I'm sure they'll find out something for it, but it's a big question in my head. Stopped this conversation long enough.
Lots of people complain about lots of things, but one of the common ones is just the time it takes for you and your friends to go do something in Star Citizen. And we share that pain as well. So not everyone has 2 or 3 hours to play the game. Some people might only have an hour. You don't want to spend half an hour, 45 minutes of that time getting everyone together. Some people do. Not everyone does. And then spend 15 minutes quantum traveling somewhere.
Yeah. What do you want to say, Dorson?
It's a bit more than half an
hour. This is such a weird approach. I'm sorry, I won't stop it. I'll let it go.
It's being kind. We recognize some of the challenges, and I think if anything can always be taken away from these shows, it's an acknowledgement that we recognize those challenges and that those conversations that happen out there are happening here, and that the people here are doing their best to reduce those things and make them better. I mean, I was just in a meeting, gosh, last week with Ian and Aaron and Sandy talking about the tutorial, what we can do to improve that, because you never rest.
They're basically saying, like, people don't want to have to go through the long distances of quantum or go through the processes of using a train. Like, just get rid of all of it then. You guys got to stick to your strengths, man. They're actively developing quantum boosts so we can quantum travel wherever we want into atmosphere. I don't understand this. I don't get it. Maybe I am being alarmist, okay? I'm settling into my alarmist phase, folks. But can we please go back to CitizenCon here?
Yep.
Okay. Like, let's take into account that they are actively showing us quantum boosting from ground surface here, right? This isn't like a fly up to the planet's orbit and take 20 minutes to get out of the planet. This guy's at ground level. Once they turn around, you can see he was below the clouds when he jumped. So we're already talking about quantum travel basically working from the ground, okay? At the same time, we're talking about Starkitect, which is being created to generate 3,000 locations.
Later.
It's not this one. Nah, I'm not going to be able to find that video. Starkitect is supposed to generate 3,000 locations on a planet, right? So easy quantum travel, tons of locations on planets. Fuel is supposed to be limited. I don't understand why. I thought that was the answer to giving people more gameplay quickly. You let people load in and out on cities. You let them load in and out at outposts. You let them have all this content within very close proximity to each other so that it feels like a big deal to go to other planets. I'll chill. Clearly, I'm feeling stronger about this than you guys.
Yes, we have to make new stuff. We have to make new stuff, new things to do, absolutely. But we also cannot forget that this needs to be a playable and enjoyable experience through and through. And there are quality of life fixes. There are older systems that can be updated that need to be updated to help us. And then there are interesting ideas that at least have to be explored, like the teleport to party leader and stuff.
And maybe it's positive me speaking now, but I think we have a good idea of how we can make it fit for Star Citizen. And I think you will still the way that is being discussed is you will have advantages still if you do the travel by yourself, but we are very, very aware that not everyone has 3 hours for a gameplay session. So we want to tailor to those, and yeah, happy to talk about it once we are signed off on that, but
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I just hope that they're not balancing the game around the broken thing we're playing right now. Because I always imagined, while it might take 30 minutes to get ready for the game right now, we've got glitches, we got bugs, we got problems, features don't exist, suit lockers aren't there, persistence isn't a thing. In the future, I imagined that wouldn't take that long because you'd sign in on your ship, get going immediately. But it sounds like, I don't know, they feel like it's taking too long, and maybe they're going to balance around that. We'll see.
Many key career scenarios still lack corresponding ship types. Careers. Okay. So are there plans to fill these gaps?
Yes. I mean, it's a very short answer. We've talked before about we have a huge matrix of size, class, manufacturers, and we want there to be options in every one. We don't want there to be a singular, like, if you want to do, let me check size and role, this is the only ship for that. We want there to be a pool of ships to pick from. So even though we have gaps in some areas that we will fill, even ones that are filled, we will still expand it. So I don't know. Let's pick heavy salvage. That's the Reclaimer at the moment. The Reclaimer is not going to be the only ship ever that fits that category. If you don't like Aegis, what are you going to do?
Who else then?
Do you want
Who
something
else, John?
maybe RSI or Argo?
RSI Heavy Salvager confirmed.
They do the same job, but people are very attached to that manufacturer aesthetic and lore.
You gotta look cool.
You gotta look cool doing spaceship stuff.
You gotta feel good about your spaceship.
Like you have very polarizing fan bases for manufacturers, like a Drake ship and an Origin ship that are doing the same role. Under the skin of it, are probably doing that role identically, but how you visually perceive them is two very different experiences.
Now that's for careers and gameplay that exist, but I think the question was actually sidestepping to careers and gameplay that doesn't exist. There are ships out there, waiting to be developed that don't have the corresponding gameplay features or something like we'll just say the Banu Merchantman right now, because there actually is not a Banu Merchantman question in this thing.
Very surprising.
You guys picked the questions. I didn't pick the questions, but there isn't a Banu Merchantman. But we know that the Merchantman needs things like the shop, like player-owned shops. Like you have to be able to set up your own shop and stuff. Otherwise, what's the point of having a giant merchant ship that you can't merch through?
Kraken Privateer is like sitting over in the corner, like, I'm only a year away.
Ships like that are held up less by the tremendous art time, although it is a tremendous amount of art time, and that is a holdup, let's be real, but also by the gameplay requirements. I don't remember where I was going with this. It's hard. I think the question was more asking, what about these gameplay roles that still aren't developed yet? Is there anything any hope you can give us for the future is without giving dates, stuff like is there an outstanding gameplay role that has a higher priority than others that might come sooner before others, maybe?
Passenger transport for sure, right?
For
right,
crafting,
everyone?
we have one element that we have been talking about that it is still missing. I think even in the last episode we were talking about refineries.
Refining, yeah.
And that definitely is one that is very high on our list, also because we sold the Expanse.
Yeah.
And
there are other ships that have refineries built in.
Yeah, so there's the Starfarer that has a refinery on it, and it's like the benefit of us working on it opens up a lot of things, right? So there's also, like we talked about, base building already. So us working on refinery not only finishes or adds another very important element to crafting, it also opens up for ships to be developed with that, and base building allowing us to have refineries at those, and then the station refineries also get more depth.
And it's sort of a lot of the ship gameplay loops that we don't have at the moment also tie into base building. Like, we'll go back to the Merchantman example. needs player-based shops, you need that for base building as well. So you would have I guess a module, but I can't remember what the correct phrase for the individual like building archetypes is. There would be a player shop one, and that will work the same way the shops would work in the ship. So you do one, you get both, and it's the same for refinery. You have a refinery on a ship, you have a refinery module on your base. Ground extraction in a ship, ground extraction at your base. They sort of build from each other and add like, maybe I don't want a ship to do this. Maybe I just want to have a base set up to do all these things. You're not forced one way or the other, you have multiple options.
And especially with all these features, right? So refinery is definitely very high on top of our list of priorities that we work through. Like the shops is also like, because we see the interest also with crafting, that there's this high interest on allowing players to comfortably trade.
The player trading is
the resources. So that is also like quite high on our priority list. There are things that are now impacted by the feature work that we have been doing and what we observe in the community, where the urges are like higher or lower, and the benefit of us like being a bit agile in these situations, we can adjust some of our priorities. We still have like a plan for until 1.0, what we have to reach, but within that plan we can shuffle things around a bit at least, and priorities one thing over the other. But also like the repair gameplay, now with all the engineering gameplay work and so on and so forth. Right now it is very exclusive to the hand tool. Now with 4.8 we have the in-hangar repair for the capital ships, so that's also like a small addition already. So we now have that as a gameplay feature for ships. But there's also the dedicated repair ships. I personally try to avoid as good as possible, and John and Rich can confirm in the vehicle leadership meetings. I try to avoid that because like we have some plans and I really would like to invest some time into that. But right now it's like with all the, like I really would like to finish the crafting stuff first before we tackle into that. But that is me saying that. That doesn't mean that like at some point someone says, no, we now need a repair ship and then I have to shuffle things around.
Torsten always tries to avoid all the repair questions I give him, but if we talk science module for the Endeavour,
I still...
Oh boy.
I still...
Somebody just asked on a video yesterday, like, how is repair going to work with the Crucible?
Want to strike a deal.
And I have the same question for ground extraction. There's a lot of these interesting industrial game loops that I'm still waiting to know just how exactly they're going to fit into the game.
With no one checks what I will do about that science module, and I can go free. That is a deal that I still want to do. No, everyone disagrees.
Can I just show you guys what the Endeavour is? Because this is probably the most crazy ship in the game. And I think oftentimes we say this is probably going to be the last ship they ever make, because this is just, they made this before they really got their minds around just how crazy these ships would be. And they made it just this gigantic modular platform. It says 3 to 5 crew, but that's fucking crazy. It says 200 meters, but it'll probably be much bigger. The way this thing works is it's split up into 3 sections. It has the Explorer cab in the front, which can disconnect and fly wherever it wants with its own jump drive. It has the workshop in the back, which is a main section, fully modular, offering a 3x2 grid of 6 attach points for independently designed scientific and medical pods, which are huge. I'll show you those in a second. Then it has the very, very back, the drive, which is where the capital class power plant is held. So all the engineering and stuff going on back there. But the crazy thing is just how modular it is. So this is what the ship itself looks like. But like if you go and you see you can put like giant research dishes to scan the vast distant space. You can put greenhouses in here so you can build your drug cartel as a flotilla moving around the star system. You can put freaking a particle collider on the ship to do research, whatever that means. You can get a general science pod. There's a surface equipment and crew pod. You got general research, a whole fuel pod for extra range. It's pretty nuts. Oh yeah, there's also the hangar. They got a little landing bay module that you can get over here. The craziest ship. Multiple decks, beds, and then they're like, oh, it's a 3 to 5 person cruise ship. There's like 3 beds right here. So yeah, this is the crazy endeavor. Anytime this thing comes up, nobody really wants to talk about it. And that's why they made a little joke about it there. It's funny to get a look at this and just hear them actually talk about this in the context of this whole conversation, because this was a ship that was introduced in 2013, I think. 2015. And just like all these things that they kind of talk about could change or maybe not, and the industrial gameplay and the way that ships work, the Endeavor's a very funny data point in that conversation. Throw it in the bin with the merchantmen? No, it's definitely going to be one of the best single box courier runners, I think, out there. 3 to 5? Psh, solo, baby.
Everyone is afraid.
That's the sound of 1,000 people melting 1,000 Endeavors right now.
Yeah. Like, I really want...
He really does want to.
I do want it, yes. But
before we get off refining, so obviously you've got mining, and you've got salvage, and you've got crafting here. Is refining another thing at that level, or is it like a sub-level that just kind of goes across everything?
So if you mean it, if it is a full profession, we treat it as a full profession.
Okay.
So it has the depth as crafting has. Yeah.
Well, okay. So there will be people like
Okay, but crafting is weird, because crafting as a profession requires you to go and like mine and collect like to loot and stuff. So is that included in crafting? Or when he says crafting as a complex action, is he just talking about what we do with the fabricator? That's 2 different things. I'm guessing he means the fabricator part, but I'm guessing refining is just kind of like crafting. It's just math equations with materials.
I'm going to spend today refining, and I'm going to go, and there's going to be gameplay and all the things you need to do.
There should be a reason for you having a dedicated refining ship in comparison. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Are suit lockers, just leave it there, suit lockers. Are suit lockers in ships getting any closer to becoming a thing, especially with the upcoming feature of flight suits being necessary to be able to handle more G-forces?
Yes, so from a vehicle content side, we have started the work to make sure they are all up to spec in our ships. So we have the prototype for what will hopefully be the initial rollout of functional suit lockers. Obviously we have suit lockers in all of our ships, but they're just, I think most people use them as temporary jail cells for people at the moment. But again, I don't want to speak on behalf of the feature team doing the work, but we have got our templates there, and we're going through all the ships and checking that the volumes are correct and you can interact with them in a quick and clean manner, because we don't want it to be you go to your suit locker, press button on the door, world's slowest animation of a door opening, you interact, swap your equipment, and it goes back up again. So there's a few ships where the doors need changing or just removing. And hopefully in the initial release of that, which I'm not going to give a date for, there will be a pretty comprehensive selection of ships supported. Not every ship has suit lockers. Not every ship is going to get suit lockers.
Watch it come in and be like Lamp, where only like a couple ships get suit lockers.
So it's sort of if your ship has suit lockers now, it's going to support it, hopefully. If you are in a ship that doesn't have any anywhere, there was probably a reason it didn't have that, and we don't particularly want that level of gameplay there with that ship.
It's the whole, not every ship is supposed to do everything.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be choices.
Yes.
There's supposed to be sometimes some hard choices. That's intentional.
Yeah.
Game design.
See, that's one of those other pillars. Like when I say like the game has pillars, that's one of those other ones, is just how much they emphasize choices that you're making. And that was, I won't get back into the party teleporting thing, but
speaking of hard choices, will the Caterpillar ever be given the ability to have detachable modules and ability to be outfitted for different scenarios like it advertises on the website? Or will we be looking at a Mark II version in the future?
Again, speaking from my point of view, I don't want to Mark II the Caterpillar. I want to pretty much fully redo it to its
People still do not understand why they do Mark IIs, and in their defense, CIG is a little bit inconsistent.
current state, not as a Mark II, and give it the modularity. So we've recently been working on the Caterpillar in a very limited scope to support the command module feature, and that sort of highlighted just how old that asset is. Again, like you said, every ship we do, we learn from. Yeah. So going back to something that at this point is probably about 10 years old was quite an experience for some of the artists who worked on it. And yes, we still want to do modules. The Caterpillar, as you know it and love it, will look broadly the same when we do that, but expect it to be brought up internally to the current standard that you see in the Ironclad.
You want to talk about any of the modules you're considering?
We never officially disclosed any.
What would a Drake version of a particle collider look like? Would you guys run a Drake manufactured Endeavor? Maybe we could do that with the Caterpillar. Just like the medical section is just like a place where you can shove a bunch of bodies. Just don't move around.
But
broadside.
There will obviously be a cargo one.
I don't give a crap about a broadside module.
I'm sure there will be a combat one.
Broadside. I want cannons, the doors open, cannons on
roll
either
the
side.
cannons out.
I want broad, or if it's got to be on one side, and then we got to turn around like an old sailing ship, like to do the other side. Broadside cannons.
I'd love to do broadside cannons.
Scientific module.
You heard it here. John Crew commits to doing broadside module for Caterpillar. He committed to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We also got the
Him
RSI
wanting to do
salvager
it is
too.
the same as Money in the Bank.
Thanks, John.
Other modules will be available.
So here's a good follow-up question. What criteria does a ship need to meet before being selected for a rework or a Mark II?
Okay, multiple layers to that. So obviously, it needs to sort of have reached a point where it just isn't fulfilling its role in the game. And we'll use the Aurora Mark I as the example here, because that had both a gold standard and a Mark II. So the Aurora, one of the first 5 ships in the game, it had changes quite a long time ago, but Star Citizen now as a game compared to where it was, say, 5 years ago is very different. The missions are different, the gameplay is different, and what we wanted to do with that ship just couldn't be done with what the Mark I was without fundamentally changing it. So at that point, we decided, let's upgrade the Mark I to current methodologies of how we build ships, make it look really good, give it as much as we physically can in the space we have available. That's gold standard. You can play the game with it now. You can competently do things. You can't do everything. And again, it's a starship. You don't want it. Not all ships should be able to do everything. It gives you a great taste of the game. Mark II, same ethos, current styling visuals. So Mark IIs are for where the Mark I is fine, but we want to radically change the visuals primarily of the ship. Mark I Hornet to Mark II Hornet, both medium fighters, both have pretty terrifying gun loadouts, visually very different. Aurora's the same, very visually different. As to how and when, primarily that's a resources point of view. There's only so many people that work on ships. They can't do everything all at the same time. We have to pick and choose. We're doing the Kraken at the moment. That's a big investment of time of people. If we weren't doing that, we could do a lot more smaller things. So again, at the director and executive level, we're deciding almost like a year in advance where we spend our tokens to develop things. So we have to hit that criteria of there's a valid need for it. Do we have the staff available to do it? And also, is it sort of something the community wants? Not to dismiss some ships over other ones, there's more value to things like the Aurora and the Hornet that have been here a long time, getting a gold standard and a Mark II than a more modern ship.
Can I hear it in chat for the Mercury Star Runner though? I actually wouldn't want them to do the Mercury Star Runner rework until we had data running in, just to make sure that the ship actually matched those needs. But I'd love to see that ship
Most
updated.
of the 2027 ship schedule is already set, and so that's how far ahead of time many of these decisions are made. Sometimes we can fudge a little bit.
Yeah,
here
we try very hard.
swap
Like
something out.
when we start a ship, we don't stop it because it's
try.
We try. There are occasions.
Banu merchant.
We try, but it can be very disruptive internally for like stopping. Like, are we releasing this? Are we not releasing this? Are we stopping? Are we starting? So once we start something, we try and see it through all the way to the end. And some of these ships can be 6, 12, 18 months for development. So I could say here today, we're gonna do X ship. You might not hear about that for another year or so.
All right. Please improve gamepad support for Star Citizen. The current PlayStation controller key bindings are completely non-functional, and Xbox controller key bindings and curve settings also have significant problems. The controller configuration is and overall gamepad compatibility needs to be completely reworked.
I would love that.
This is one of those things. I remember we did the holiday live stream, not that one, a different one
about the
in
holiday
2015, whatnot, where Chris played the game live, and he played on a gamepad. You played Star Citizen, on a gamepad. I play Baldur's Gate 3, whatnot. I play it on PC. I still prefer to play it on a gamepad, even when I'm playing on PC. It's, for some people, it is just the preferred control scheme. What, if anything, are we doing to support gamepad?
So there, again, for Squadron, because like you say, tons of people play PC games with controllers, and I do it myself personally, is that I connect my DualShock controllers up to my PC so I can play it, and then when I go to my PS5, I'm not having to muscle memory relearn everything. So there's been a lot of work on the Squadron side to improve that will come back to Star Citizen.
I'm going to be playing Squadron on the gamepad. All right, y'all can curse me to hell and back, but if they're making it to work with the gamepad, that means haptic feedback. Can't wait.
On the Squadron side to improve that will come back to Star Citizen. Again, it's not just why doesn't someone just copy the file from here to here and make it work? The flight systems are different. The hints are different. It's a very different tailored experience. It won't just like work out the box. So it does need some fine tuning. Again, the flight model is different in Squadron to where it is right now in Star Citizen. The quantum experience is different for where it is right now in Star Citizen. So you can't just copy it over. But a lot of work has been done to make that experience be better, and for a whole range of other peripherals. It's not just the big ones. It's just for...
If you can say one thing, is like Star Citizen is very supportive on all the different peripherals that exist.
For an unfinished game,
Chris is a champion, of course, but I really, it's Benoit. As long as Benoit is here, this man, I've never met anybody that's more engaged by peripherals and any piece of interactive tech, whether it's Tobii or whether it's VR or whatever, it's D-Box and whatnot. It's whatever we can do to allow people to play this game the way that they want to play is going to be a priority from our technical teams and stuff like that. So, and that includes gamepads, but not at the exclusion of full sim rigs and stuff. We want to, maybe we're silly, but we want to do it all, and we believe we can. So,
the thing is,
all right,
and I see the discussion going on in chat. I gotta say, whether you have a controller or a mouse and keyboard or HOTAS, I think most folks who are pretty serious about this game are not using any one thing, right? You're probably using your mouse and keyboard. Maybe you have a HOTAS controller when you switch to your other stuff. Maybe you use an eye tracker or head tracking that helps you with control. Maybe you have a Stream Deck or Game Glass. There's like so many different ways you can control. I don't think anybody should try and just say, I'm mouse and keyboard and I'm locked to that, or I'm controller and I'm locked to that. I think you can find a combination of controls that works for you. And I do appreciate that they're trying so hard to make sure so many of these different things do work. so that you can do that. I personally want to get way more into Stream Deck and Game Glass, because it seems like having like a dedicated surface for buttons that you need to press fairly often is a good thing to have when you're flying around getting shot in the ass all the time. Yeah, voice commands too.
No, I want to be clear that I'm just reading the question here. This isn't...
Okay.
The existing armor mechanics are fundamentally ill-suited for future gameplay. No matter how the numbers are tuned, armor will never behave realistically in actual combat. It amounts to nothing more than a single hit point bar. Armor should be diversified, for example, providing immunity against ballistic weapons size 4 and below, while energy weapons size 2 and above could deal heavy damage to armor. Thank you for listening to my ideas. No, he didn't say that. I added that. What are your plans?
So, so some of the stated ideas in that statement should already be true. So energy weapons are more efficient against armors in comparison to ballistic weapons. Maybe the difference is not that distinctive, so that's something that we have been working on for the 4.8 release. There are some changes coming in for the 4.8 release, as I think we already stated at the beginning of this show, that hopefully fixes some of the major concerns. For example, a very prominent one that just popped into my head is a Scorpius cannot damage a Scorpius. So Scorpius fighting Scorpius is an infinite fight, except using missiles. But
what the heck?
So the armor system that we put in is as much effort as we put into it and make it right. It is justice, and just is even the wrong word. It's a stopgap filler for Maelstrom. Maelstrom is the system we always wanted to achieve. We have been advertising Maelstrom for ages at this point as the real physicalized materials that impact or like we go for a full physical damage model rather than a health bar model. So everyone that dislikes health bars, yeah, not a thing anymore with Maelstrom. But as long as we are not at that point yet, we at least want to see how the game feels once we get like the full experience of Maelstrom. And one of that feel is the armor. The armor right now is a very binary system, I do agree. It is by intent though, because we wanted to have this clear distinction between certain
Say it louder, Torsten.
Just ricochet.
Doesn't matter how loud they're gonna have to answer this again in 2 months. We do this multiple times a year, every year.
Of your armor. And sure, there are things that we have been even discussing in our, like I've been mentioning it a lot, but this is the topic we are talking about in our vehicle leadership group. As with all the other things, we don't want to overdo with changes, right? So for 4.8, we want to iterate over what we got. And the iteration is basically fixing all the issues there with the inconsistency between certain fighters not damaging each other, certain weapons not being clear enough as an advantage over the others. But overall, I think at least what this statement said is like, I feel comfortable in saying at least the majority of that statement we will have in a better state in 4.8. There are just things that we cannot do with the armor system that we have right now. Like I've seen, like people reached out to me with a lot of suggestions. They are good suggestions. I don't disagree, but that means we need to invest more time into that. We need to derail some other feature work that we are doing. So there's a lot of considerations, and I think what we have right now is something we can build on, we can improve, and
we didn't too much wasted work while you're waiting for Maelstrom.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, that's the big topic. We cannot.
Every minute you put into this is work that has to be replaced when Maelstrom comes in. So not every minute, but there's going to be some calculus here.
At least we try to be smart about some decisions that we take now, so we don't have to.
So it's always the problem. I mean, John, you and I have done enough of these shows where it's like we would love to do that, but we know we'd have to replace that afterwards. So rather than do work that you know you have to throw out, let's work on things that we know actually have a chance at staying and continuing. And I was surprised when I saw the armor stuff go in, because I thought we were doing Maelstrom and stuff. But again, it's like there are experiences that can be tested now. There's data that can be gathered now by doing this work with armor today while you're waiting for Maelstrom. Like I said, you wanted to test out how this feels and that feels. You can get that feedback now without having to wait for a Maelstrom, and then maybe it would affect certain things with.
Yeah, I can already say that some of the observations and some of the feedback that we got definitely ended up on our notes list for Maelstrom once it comes to the PU. So some things that we see that are where the armor system is already a direct copy of how Maelstrom works, but then we notice, okay, we have to adjust those. So we already have notes for Maelstrom to be adjusted exactly the way that we are adjusting the armor system. So it helps us in the long run. So we have to spend less time in iterating over the Maelstrom system because we are already doing that in a different system, but it's the same.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like we're going to be experiencing actually some pretty significantly different gameplay in Squadron. Like, outside of the fact that they have simplified the flight system for Squadron, they probably have put quantum boost in Squadron. We're going to have the other quantum travel animations. The AI is going to be better. The performance is probably going to be better, which means FPS performance is going to be better. We're going to have FPS scanning. We're going to have wear and tear on weapons. We're going to have a fully functional mobi-glass with mission objectives and stuff. Like, we're just going to be playing probably what feels like a pretty different game. They'll have the Maelstrom system in there as well. That won't be in Star Citizen. So it's almost like a little peek into the future of the game. Yeah, unfortunately, as I see in chat, they will not. They will not be doing socials. At least in Squadron. And I know you're talking about social media, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Oh, by the way, Spider, thank you for the sub, dude. Appreciate you. Good to see you in chat, man. I hope you're having a good day. And also, Mr. Throbbing Wood, take a shot for all of us, man. Have a good night. Glad you don't have to do the second job today. Enjoy your weekend, buddy.
And for those who might take this like, well, if that's how it was, then this must not mean very good for Squadron. Again, single player, curated experience, massively multiplayer online, you know, space game. The distinctions are night and day. It can work wonderfully for the curated experience that we're building there, and just not here, which is where all the additional work comes from. Now that PDCs, point defense cannons, or point defense turrets, and we tried to call them PDTs, but it's hard to rebrand something. Now that PDTs with automated combat functionality have been implemented, will the auto turret drones deployed by something like the Aegis Nautilus work in similar fashion?
So drones are a big topic for us, and that is base building. So I think we talked about that in CitizenCon. Where did we show?
A little bit.
Yeah. So no, drones are a key or an essential part for base building, and the moment that we have that tech, that opens up all the opportunities for, again, right?
So many ships.
So many ships. So it's basically, again, like from crafting, base building, into drones, into opening up for all the features that we have ships with.
I'd love to hear about drones more.
Very specific Nautilus turret mine example. Yes, you would have the drone side of it, but also the turret on it would function how PDTs work. But there's also things we want to do to PDTs between now and then to make them better. At the moment, they're very binary. Like, they're powered, they do whatever they want. We want to give you the control of, like, maybe don't auto-engage immediately. Maybe wait for me to have confirmation.
Yes, please.
Only target, select things, ignore this. Like, don't target fighters, don't waste your ammo on fighters, only go for torpedoes.
We literally
change.
saw this happen during the trade today. The PDC started turning on, freaking everyone
Internally, they have a fixed threat order of like, do torpedoes first, then do missiles, then do ships, then do other things. And maybe you don't want that order. Maybe you want to have ships first, and you don't want to have them. We want to give players that control. And when you have that on your PDTs, and then on a drone, and then in the Nautilus, then it's a much more compelling experience.
The minute you give me the ability to set my target priorities for my PDTs, I'm just taking something with like 15 some odd PDTs, like theaters or whatever, and I'm setting it only for people, and I'm flying over Jumptown. And just being like,
only target Drake ships.
Just gonna fly upside down right over Jumptown. Just be like, of course, I'm not taking my Idris upside down, but you get the idea. An 890 jump has a lot of PDTs on it, doesn't it?
Kraken full of MDTs.
Oh yeah, Kraken with the MDTs, the MDCs on top, or yeah. Rich, anybody? Ground vehicles.
Control surfaces.
Like honestly, I can just leave the question. Just ground vehicles. We talk about ground vehicles almost as long as we've talked about the next version of the flight model.
Yeah.
Like.
So the two things are connected. So we wanted to complete what we think is the new flight experience first before we moved our resources onto the ground vehicles. But well, it was like 3 years ago now. We did do a update in a very limited slot of time we had to introduce a new time model, some new suspension physics, and just generally how they behave. Now, by going this route of how the flight model behaves in terms of going for realism, but accessibility and just the thing feeling good in the game, it made the ground vehicles better, but also introduced some of the problems in the ground vehicles because we freed up the physics to react more kind of realistically, which inherently makes them look unrealistic at times because we're hitting solid objects with the bottom of the vehicle or with the suspension kind of funny, and the vehicles would do strange things. And that's just down to the fact that we've got work to do.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Holy crap. I think I just filled up my PC. What? Oh, there's so many freaking recordings on here. That's why. I record so many videos on this computer now that I did not realize just how many files are on here. Yikes. 1 second, I just need to delete a whole bunch of this stuff and then we can keep going. Oh, okay. And my Windows Explorer just crashed. Uh-oh. Oh no. Just don't hurt the stream, please. All right. There we go. We're good. Let me see. I'm going to delete all these videos. Let's see how many there's. It is... It's not even telling me how much space it's taken up. 842 gigabytes. It's actually less than I thought it would be. Add an HDD to the directory. Dude, I keep running out. We currently have like 20 terabytes of storage and I keep running out because these hard drives are like the price of a car now. All right. Should be good, though, to keep recording. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we're good. My bad, guys. Windows strikes again. Windows hates me today. But it's okay. I hate it. It's a mutual relationship.
So we've got a framework of the ground vehicles.
All right, let me go back because we probably lost some footage
the bottom
there.
of the vehicle or with the suspension kind of funny, and the vehicles would do strange things. And that's just down to the fact that we've got work to do. So we've got a framework of the ground vehicles. And interesting enough, we've got a meeting very, very soon to discuss the kind of ground vehicle 1.0 plan of what we want to achieve with ground vehicles. Because as we do base building, we do combined arms, the ground vehicles are going to become even more important for the universe. So we've got a plan to improve the time model, the suspension, but just the general way that the vehicles interact with our world. It's when you hit rocks and stuff, the vehicles don't flip over and crash all the time and feel very strange. You feel like they don't have mass, because the vehicles do have mass, but the force that is generated is a very hard force. It's a very kind of simple calculation of just you hit objects, force generated, force is applied to the ground vehicle. But we're going to start controlling that so it feels much more natural.
It's good old Newton.
And also, we're looking at converting the ground vehicles to the exact same systems that the spaceships work on as well. So they'll have an engine and power plant, and everything will work as a normal Star Citizen vehicle does as well. And this overall will have a much more kind of natural feeling ground vehicle in the end, once we get some time to work on the physics of, just how it interacts with the world. And I'm kind of excited by that, which will hopefully allow us to do more interesting gameplay, and for the vehicles to kind of
actually have
be able to do more. Yeah, just be able to do more in the game and have that purpose where so you can go take your ballista, park it somewhere, and have it in the right spot that you want it, so you can use it for that purpose.
Actually, we had there was this I forgot the name, the big facilities we have on the ground.
Distribution centers.
Thank you. Distribution centers. Those were our first intent of making ground vehicles more viable, because we equipped those distribution centers with very effective turrets.
We remember
that you should land.
We were all very excited for
further out. Our planet environments weren't built for that. So we had a bumpy road ride.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems the ground vehicles have are the very beautiful looking planets that we don't have nice roads on, because part of it is they're not habitable or I can't think of the word. Civilized with infrastructure, so there isn't roads there. And a lot of people underestimate the scale of Star Citizen, and they're bombing along in their Cyclone, which they don't realize makes a Humvee look small, and they hit what they think is a small rock. But if you stood next to it in real life, it's 2 meters tall. So a vehicle traveling at 40 meters a second, hitting something that essentially has infinite mass in how it is in the world. In the real world, you'll just go pancake into it. But our vehicles have mass. That thing doesn't have mass. Like Rich talked about, it was changed to a more realistic model, and then we had to rapidly change it because the physical forces that were being imparted on the vehicles was just insane. So there's lots of things we've had to do to tone it down.
Yeah, it's one of those things
So all this makes me wonder, where's John Pritchett?
Star Citizens, is it a spaceship game? Is it an FPS game? It's an, Rich Shire will tell you it's an everything game, and that's what we're attempting to do. That has to include ground vehicles. Yep. I think ground vehicles have been sort of in this unfortunate kind of side shunt over here. They've never really found their purpose in the verse, and it's like when I saw something like Stormbreaker for the first time, I was excited now that that a big area that doesn't allow you to fly ships in and stuff like this. I'm like, great, do something like that where you can do vehicles, and like imagine the entire patch content was ground vehicle related. You had to do the entire patch content in ground vehicles and stuff like this. And the answer I got back from creative director Ian Leyland was, we'd love to, but playing in ground vehicles right now isn't that great. So if you do an entire patch content that requires everybody to roll around in ground vehicles, you better make sure the ground vehicles are fun and actually work the way. So it's
kind of like if you were going to roll out whole fleet battles, you want to make sure that people can talk to each other.
Yeah, it's just that's another smaller dream. First dream is the big giant, battlecruiser kind of thing, commanding the field. The second thing is I just love an entire content drop that is ground vehicle related. You can't bring ships.
Want them to be just as good as the ships, and that maybe to the point where you never even want a ship. You're just content with your base built location, ground vehicles, tooling around, doing all the game loops with ground vehicles.
Adding to that, even it's like, so right now it's like also not the most like convenient thing to call your ground vehicles. So that is something that we have on our list also for ages at this point, which is ground vehicles through freight elevator or nested spawning of ships with ground vehicles.
Oh, that'd be
so
great.
good news is we have been working on that, but I was about to say, we proved it with the Atlas, but the Atlas is
not technically a vehicle.
It's technically not a vehicle, but no, it has been on our list for quite some time. Because the moment that we allow ground vehicles to be more comfortably stored or pulled up and then being stored in your ship, I think they also will be used naturally more than what they are right now. Because right now it's, pardon my French, it's a bit of a pain.
The Atlas is not technically a vehicle. It's a very large person you crawl into.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I said those words. I think we got time for a couple more here. Refueling, passenger transport, retail, and escort gameplay all have functionality but lack player motivation. How will you make players genuinely want to engage with these?
Good news. Refueling.
Finish for one of those.
At least for one of those. Now we are aware that sometimes you need extrinsic motivation to try out gameplay loops in our game, and refueling is one of the few ones that we. Like, when we released it for the first time, there were a lot of that because it's a new gameplay. People were coming up with their own goals. They organized themselves. We even had a brief moment where the fuel rats came into our game and were distributing fuel. They left again, but I think at least I've stopped noticing them.
They realized this was a bad idea.
But anyway, derailing. So it worked for a short time. Like with all intrinsic urges you have, it's like it's a smaller time frame rather than you get external reward. And for the next patch, there is finally some external rewards for that, because we will introduce refueling missions. So that will be all the owners of Starfarers and other refueling ships will be allowed to refuel stranded NPCs. So if an NPC ran out of fuel, they will pop up a mission, and you in your Starfarer or fuel-giving ship will be able to head over there and refuel them.
If an NPC ran out of fuel, oh boy, would I love if that was possible. They're just going to spawn in an NPC.
So there is suddenly a purpose on
you and your Starfarer or fuel-giving ship
or other ships,
other fuel-giving ship. That might have seen a sneak peek of in the weekly newsletter last week or the week after. Well, it depends on when you're watching this. I think this episode doesn't air for the full community until the 14th or something.
Well, we have the Starfarer Gemini. I just don't want to say the Gemini.
The only time we've ever had a variant produced by a different manufacturer.
True.
Although I just saw on the website it's still listed under MISC. It's not listed under Aegis. Fix that. Like he's in charge of the website. He's not in charge of the website. He's not in charge of the website at all. All right, folks. That's it for the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in.
Wait, what about all those other ones that they asked in that question?
If you're the fine folks watching in Xi'an, China, thank you for taking the time to take this and localize it with subtitles for the viewers. We always like doing this show for you guys out there. And then if you're watching at home or in your car or wherever later, we hope you have found the information helpful and useful and worthwhile. For the show, I'm Jared. That was John. That's Torsten. That's Rich. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another show soon. I think technically it might actually be tomorrow by the time this actually airs. Calendars. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Did we have another planned Star Citizen Live for tomorrow? Not that I recall. So yeah, that was a decent Star Citizen Live. There was a lot of good stuff in there. A lot to go. I'm gonna have to go back over it because I was ranting most of the time and reading chat. Love you guys, but That was wow, a lot of stuff had happened this week. That was I think some good insight into it clarifies things. Saturday they have a bar citizen. No, I don't see anything else. He thought this would be the 14th. Oh, I see. Yeah, we got something else coming up next week, I guess. Okay, cool. So on the 15th there should be something. It clarifies things. I think this definitely helps to show us the direction they're going in with the game. It certainly shows us that they're not shying away from anything. They are willing to do anything to make this work in the way that the game has progressed over time. And I applaud them for that. That's important. Like you gotta make sure that it's gonna work no matter what. Even if the game industry changes, you gotta change with it. But it also means it's just another on top stack of last year when Jared was saying like we used to have ideas and those ideas will change, so now we're gonna do different things. They're just reiterating that. And a lot of what was said today is confirming stuff that we already knew before, but also showing us that some stuff might change over time, especially when it comes to vehicles, vehicle gameplay, and some of the crazier ships that are eventually going to be coming to the game. Either way, that was your look at Star Citizen Live this week, some ship information. I'll probably be doing a lot more deep dives into some of these topics over the next couple of weeks if we have time. We probably won't. But that's that for now. I will say this, next week, when they do go live with the other stuff, when Invictus Week is starting, when Twitch drops are getting going, I will actually be going live because we have changed our Streamathon to coincide with that. So we'll be going live for the Streamathon on the 14th. On Saturday, on the 16th, I'll be taking a short day because we do have our baby shower that day. But we will be starting the Streamathon on the 14th and going through into the next week. Our big event will still be on the 23rd for anybody who wants to be watching that. But I'll be live for most of late next week, probably looking into some of this stuff or whatever their next Star Citizen Live is. Anyways, that's that. Let's go look at the Odin now. Wherever it was. You guys said there was another... They have released a second sneak peek of the Odin, I'm hearing. This is not the right browser. We get to see the interior now. So we already saw the exterior before. I think it looks pretty nifty. But now, supposedly, there's something else to be seen. Ooh, that's a Vandal weapon. Is that it? I heard there was a sneakily peekly. Oh, in an email. An email. Did it make me go on my email on stream? Do 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 do. Da 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 da. This thing. What? Holy f***, bro. What are we shooting? This is an interesting setup. I mean, this whole room is freaking massive. Is this a turret? Does this go down? These shells are different sizes too. These down here are shorter than the ones up top. So I'm guessing, and this looks like some kind of loading mechanism. It goes up all the way up through the top. Dude, this must be a hell of an important, like, cannon. I wonder if they hid. I wonder if they just straight took the guns off this. So that instead of us getting all hyped and knowing something is coming, maybe they have plans for, like, a bigger caliber gun. Because this is much bigger than size 8, right? Which is the biggest we know of. Look at this freaking ship. This is gnarly. This is nuts. We have a problem. They loaded your cousin. That's pretty good. So we got these, what looks like a belt feed almost here, but that's, I don't know what this is. It doesn't look like it's holding ammo. Just kind of hanging down. Hey! I can finally use my dials on my keyboard to scroll around. I don't get to do that very much. Yeah, so what? Definitely a turret. It's got multiple ladders on it, so you're going really high up. And then I guess... But it doesn't make much sense, does it? Because it doesn't go all the way through the ceiling. Not that it's big, it's just a tiny chair and a tiny guy on a picture. These are all just small people. Also, the question comes, like, where... So this must be a cross-section that we're seeing, right? Where do all of these shells even get loaded into? I guess this is the point of a sneak peek. You don't get to see how exactly things work, but it's an interesting one. The Odin is going to be an interesting ship. Clearly they're going for something different with this, something a little more bombastic and impressive. And I'm just wondering, like, what in the world is this ship going to be used for in the game? Either way, little look at the Odin inside and out, as well as all of the other ships we're going to see. Again, let's just count it. We got the Pitbull is 1, M80 is 2, Starlight is 3. The what is this? Torpid, the Palamabus type Tiburon. The Tiburon is 5. 4. The Ironclad is 5. The Ironclad Assault is 6. Hammerhead Gold Standard is 7. And I guess you could technically say that the Ironclad command module is 8. Odin would be a concept ship at 9. I feel like I'm missing something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8. I feel like there was one more coming with Invictus. Am I missing anything? Ironclad and Caterpillar command module are different? Shouldn't they be the same? Kruger, not yet confirmed. That would be cool if we saw it. Okay, so I'll call it 7 ships for now. Because this is a concept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good for them. And they'll have the Gattack railing coming in after that. Yay, ships! Keep it locked here, guys. I'll have some more ship info for you next week if you got any more you want to know. Thanks for watching. Not even remotely interested in the Odin? Solid, because I don't think there's going to be too many of these. Crazy ship. Crazy times. We got a lot of crazy stuff coming up, and I have got to go cover it and do some video work and all that jazz. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks for coming to the stream, chilling around, having some chats. Ooh, am I in... Yikes, have I been in the just chatting category this whole time? Oopsies. Do we know the volume of the ship the Odin is supposed to be twice the volume of? The Javelin. We probably could figure out the volume of that, yeah. You stream Star Citizen under Magic the Gathering sometimes. How does that go for you? Get people coming in being like, what is this? This one of those card games? Even though magic. Sorry, just looking for a target to raid here. I'll send you over to Androsa. Yeah, I'm still kind of new to this whole streaming thing. Sorry about it. All right, guys. I'll catch y'all later. Have a lovely Friday. I'll be back with you on Saturday for some work stuff. And maybe even for some additional fun news if they drop anything else today for whatever reason. You guys have a wonderful day. Have a good weekend. Treat yourselves well. Do something you love. Eat something you love. Give somebody you love a hug. Or all three to each other. I don't know. I don't judge your life. Have a wonderful one, though. Love y'all. See you on Saturday. Bye-bye.